a second. This stream is going to be slightly different today. I gotta fix this camera though. First of all, this camera is crooked. Does that look straight? Is that straight? Nope, that's worse. Oh my gosh. I can't get it straight. What the heck's wrong with that camera? Welcome to Grave Stories with a Grave Digger. Welcome to Grave Production Value with a Grave Digger. That's what you're watching. Going into the chat. I gotta fix that camera in a second. Hello. Wow, everyone's in here already. Does it look crooked to you? It's gotta be crooked. It is crooked. I'm looking at it. It's crooked. What it has to do. I don't know. Whatever. Good enough. That's what you want to hear at the beginning of a show, right? Welcome, everyone. Okay, I got to turn down my volume on this. It's not the chair that's crooked. It's definitely that camera. It looks like it's the chair, but it's not. So instead of cutting, I'm going to leave these two shots up like this. It makes it easier for me to do. Hello, Retro. Brandon, my friend. My friend Becky is watching. I know that. Who's in here? I'm going to start relatively quick this week. I'm going to say hello, Civ. Hello, all you new people. Omnish. Ashley, didn't get a notification. I just happened to see it. Wow, Charisma, I'm glad you're here. Wesley, Nathan kind of looked like Ash from Evil Dead. The big guy. What's up? Hello, Brent. Job at Disney. Soon I'm gonna be rolling in the $2. Dang! Congratulations on the new job, Brent. That's awesome. Elmer, hey, have you heard of Steve Kerr's son? His name is Nicker, and he's Team 2. No, I don't know who that is. Hello, Affin. Hey, Affin, you are the one that sent me the book, right? Affin? Because I have the book. Hang on. Check it out. 2 new books. Look up in the corner of the screen if you want to see a bigger version or a close-up version, even though a smaller close-up version. So, pretty sure Affin sent me Haunted Natchez. Affin, which one did you send? Come on, where's the chat? Affin Koenig. I went to the post office right before this and I saw it was in the PO box. If anyone's got junk they want to send me, or cool junk like this, there's a P.O. box in the description. Affin sent me a book. I'm going to read from this one today. Haunted Natchez. It's real stories from this, like, down south in the southern region. So people who are down there, get ready to get freaked out. Like you, Becky. My friend Becky's watching. And I think some of these are down, not in Florida, but it says... Small Mississippi town full of all the okay. Through a charming small Mississippi town full of all the southern appeal that Dixie has to offer, there is more to Natchez, and I think that's how you say it, Natchez, I don't know how else to say that, than more to it than its pristine exterior suggests. Much more. Just beneath the unassuming placid gentility words of classic southern mansions. There is like 3 consonants in the word. I am not getting through it. Gentility of classic southern mansions and estates. Ghosts and spirits pervade Natchez, from the old Adams County Jail to the Natchez City Cemetery. Spirits from generations past remain in Natchez. Join Ellen Brown, experienced Mississippi author and expert on all things haunted. Ooh, that's like me. As he surveys the historic haunts of Natchez, a town as rich in history as it is in its ghostly activity. Dang, this is going to be good. We're going to read this today. I might read the whole stinking book. They're pretty short. How many pages is this? It's like 120 pages. 119. Good guess. This dude who wrote this is the head expert on all things haunted. I'm an expert on all things spooky, ghosts, goblins, and ugly cousins. You name it. I got it. I know all about it. All right, so we're going to read from that. And then I got this other book. Who sent me this? I can't remember who sent me this. Who sent me Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? A lot of people were telling me to get this book. And someone sent it to me. It came directly from Amazon. So someone just ordered it on Amazon and sent it to me. All right, cool. Affin, thank you very much for the Natchez one. Dude, Charisma, I'm scaring your skin off. Get ready. I won't be reading this one. I might do this as like a special, a couple stories from these books. This is 3 books. It's a series of 3 books that someone sent. Scary Stories to Tell. More Tales to Chill Your Bones. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. To Tell in Your Dark. So it's 3 books in the series. And these are fiction. So I don't really want to read fiction. I like reading things that are like stories from people. So like they're more so true than like just straight up fiction, you know, things that people happen to people. But this is cool, and I appreciate whoever sent this to me. It's amazing. Thank you so much for sending me this. This is rad. I cannot remember who it is. Whoever it is, say it in the chat if you're here. Hey Pixels, what's up? Loic, hello guys. Crankmaster, hello. But I might read this like as a special, like a couple at the end of a stream next week or the week after or something like that. Because I don't mind getting some fiction in there. Why not? All right, so I'm just gonna get to it. I'm gonna go right to the stories. No messing around this week. I don't know how long I'll stream. Maybe I'll just do. Last week I did like 5 hours. I was thinking maybe I'll do 2 hours because I don't know how long this will take to read this book. But I am pretty tired right now because I built an outside shower earlier. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitch. If you haven't seen, please follow the Twitch. It's in the description. This is one of the last things I'm going to say before I start reading the stories. My Twitch is Beyond Worlds. I do it with my 2 friends, Tom and Chris, and all the equipment, it was provided by Chris, so it would really help out if you guys supported the Twitch, because that, if you support, follow, donate those Chaos Emeralds, whatever they are, bits on Twitch, that goes to Chris, and Chris paid for the computer and the cameras that are in here, so that would be awesome. And if you do donate to me here, it pays for everything else, like my rent, which we all know is pretty steep, and these new microphones and all the crap I bought for the set. And if you want to, you can go to the Twitch Beyond Worlds, and you can see just like an hour ago, I just stopped. I streamed. It's like 4 pieces because it was so hot. I was using my phone, and it was so hot outside today. My phone got the temperature warning like 100 times. So there's 4 chapters. I live streamed me building an outside shower. It's awesome. It's a hose, a garden nozzle, and I built a platform, and then a bamboo wall, and that's it. It's all you need. You just need some water to go up then down, and I did. So there we go. I got an outside shower now, and I'm going to use it after I do this because I'm always sweating profusely at the end of these streams, wearing all this winter gear in 110-degree weather. And I would like to thank my sponsor, Wet Water. They also sponsor Keith Abacary's show, Chips and Drips. And I have a sponsor on top of the sponsor who doesn't actually sponsor me. Whatever the heck this is called, Dead Man's Coffee. What the heck is Death Wish Coffee? They sent me a cup like years ago, and I have it, and it works for this whole bit. So, thanks, Death Wish Coffee, for the cup. I don't drink coffee, but I drink water, and they go hand in hand. Cups and water. I'm going to be drinking a lot of that today. All right. Enough nonsense rambling. Ooh, I got a direct donation. Thank you, Rachel. Rachel, you're in the chat. Where are you? Thank you very much for that $2 donation. First of the night. Thank you very much. That's the first $2 that will go to my rent this week. You appreciate it. You need water to make coffee, after all. True, Pixels. You're very smart. Hello, Paul. How's it going? Get all the episodes of Chips and Trips. Okay, YouTube. Oh, on YouTube? I will. Tesla, I'm going to do that. I've been slacking on that. I got to put them all up. I'm slacking on like my own brother and everything. I still have to put my own brother up. Excuse me. My guts are haunted. All right, Joseph. Are you ready? Are you guys ready? I'm going to go. I have not read anything in this book yet, so this is brand new for me and you. So, let's do it. So I don't know if this is like just, oh, they are just little stories. I wonder if it's all from this one guy. He writes them all. So, this chapters are Arlington. Uh-oh. My guts are haunted. First fart. This is pretty easy now. I don't have to do any cutting back and forth because I just have it like this. There you go. 2 shots. I like cutting back and forth. It's kind of fun. I like having the segments, the segues, whatever, the cuts. But I'm going to make it easy on myself this week. Okay, cool. This first... Oh, wait a second. Are you kidding me? The smoke machine never works. It's like 20 minutes into the stream and I haven't even read a story yet. Give me a break. Come on, smoke machine. Welcome to Grave Stories from a Grave Digger. I am Nathan Barnatt, former grave digger from New England, and I am an expert on all things spooky. Ghosts, goblins, ugly cousins, you name it. Here we go. This first story from Haunted Natchez, which is a book donated from one of the viewers. Affin, I can't remember your name, but you're in here. Affin Koenig, that's right. This first story is called Arlington. One of the most prominent of Natchez pioneering families was the Surgett family. Pierre Surgett was born in 1731 in Rochelle, France. As a young man, Pierre worked as a ship's captain. In the 1780s, he received a Spanish land grant of 2,500 acres southeast of Natchez, Mississippi. At the same time, he moved his wife, Catherine, and their 11 children from Louisiana to Mississippi, which became their permanent home. 3 of his children, Captain Francis Surgett, James, the guy's name is Captain. The kid's name's Captain. What a name. Captain Francis Surgett, James Surgett, and Jane Surgett White became prominent landowners and citizens of Natchez. Pierre went on to acquire large landholdings in Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. He and his other family members owned hundreds of slaves who worked in the cotton and cornfields. Well, that's horrible. I hate this story. I don't like this. This is depressing. But I guess it's history. Yikes. The Surgett family sold their cotton through agents in Liverpool, England, and New Orleans. They also held bank accounts in New York and New Orleans and loaned money to landowners in the Natchez area. In the years prior to the Civil War, members of the Surgett family eventually intermarried with other land-owning families in the area. Many people living in Natchez today remember Pierre Surgett primarily because of his connection to one of the city's most significant and legendary antebellum homes. In 1816, construction began on a home for Pierre Surgett's eldest daughter, Miss Jane White. In 1820, Miss White moved into her beautiful Federal-style villa. Tragically, she died after spending only one night in her beautiful home. Dang, that stinks. Her sister, Miss Bigaman inherited the house and property and all of the furnishings. 5 generations of the Surgett family at Arlington and added to 5 generations of the Surgett family lived at Arlington and added to its store of luxurious furnishings. By 1977, Arlington still contained a 300-year-old spinet, or spinet maybe, spinet piano, objets d'art, and a library consisting of thousands of books. Even though Arlington was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1974, it was an abandoned wreck by the late 1990s. In 2001, a devastating fire destroyed the rear gallery, which had been added after the home was first constructed. The roof was destroyed as well, but the rooms in the main house were undamaged. The owner of the old mansion, the Historic Natchez Foundation, HNF, installed a new roof and rafters and took additional measures to stabilize the house. Still, Arlington is a sad shadow of its former self. All of the windows are broken, and much of the exterior and interior have been marred by spray-painted graffiti. At the time of this writing, the HNF was in the process of installing an alarm system to protect the house from further vandalism. The ghost story that members of the Surgett family passed down from one generation to the next has become as faded as the house itself. For years, people said that every night at the stroke of midnight, a ghostly carriage, drove up the long drive and pulled up at the main entrance of Arlington. The door opened and a beautiful woman climbed out. That's not so scary. Walked up the steps and passed through the unopened front door. That's kind of scary. This one's not a very good story. Most people believe that the specter of the ghost of Jane White, who never had the opportunity to spend much time in her beautiful home while she was alive. No, that's what they think it was. Sorry, I read that sentence weird. Oh, God, I'm choking on my spit. This is the worst dream of my life. This one stinks. One can only hope that after Arlington has been fully restored, its signature ghost story will be revived as well. All right, so I'm wondering if this book, Affin, have you read this book? Are there like actual like ghost stories like Steve, the local mailman, said that a woman came into his room and started banging on the door? That's what I want. I want to find some like spooky stories. Or if these are just like historical facts of the town. Have you read this? What is this that I see? Evie, I'm stuck at work, so I can't really stay. Hopefully you're still streaming when I'm done. I probably will be. Thank you, Evie, for that $5. Thank you very much. Super nice of you. Oh, and I see you, Tyler. Tyler B. Thank you for that $4 direct donation to my Streamlabs. If you guys want to donate directly to me, it goes right to my PayPal. The link for my Streamlabs is in the description, or you can do the super chat here. I don't have super goldfish brain, but I'm still forgetful. Bad headaches and get dizzy. Oh man, are you telling a ghost story? Can you guys hear that? Someone's like blowing a leaf blower out there. Today I learned that many gravediggers will not buy a new spade. Always. Oh, shoot. Barrett, dang. Hey, man, here's $10 of Monopoly money. Thanks, Barrett. That's super nice of you. Holy crap. Gravediggers will not buy a new spade. Always a used spade, because digging a grave with a new spade means someone in their family will die within the year. That's some superstition right there, Mike. I don't know about that. The one, I never bought my own spade or shovel or pickaxe. I just used the ones that were there at the cemetery, so hopefully I'm good. A lot of places around town are haunted. I hope they tell stories from them. That's what I'm hoping too. All right, Affin, we're gonna move on and see how this book shapes up. Okay, just gonna go to the next one, and if this next one's a dud, then I'll skip around. But it's still a cool book. The cover's spooky. In 1777, a Welsh immigrant named Jeremiah Routh moved his wife and 4 children to, did I read the title of this? Dunleith. This story is called Dunleith. Dunleith. Why isn't my smoke machine working? I hate my smoke machine. Come on! Get with it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think it's because I think I'm running out of juice. I gotta put more juice in there. All right, Dunleith. In 1777, a Welsh immigrant named Jeremiah Ruth moved his wife and 4 children to Spanish West Florida in the Natchez district, where he had received a land grant of 500 acres. In 1791, Ruth traveled to Ohio to buy lumber for a 2-story frame house. He went to Ohio from Florida to get wood to build a house. That's like way out of the way. The float boat on which the lumber had been loaded arrived at Natchez under the hill just as a storm was brewing. Natchez under the hill seems like they wrote it like as if that's an actual town or a location. The boat got there just as a storm was brewing. The next morning, the flatboat and its cargo were gone. Routh reported the theft to the governor of the post of Natchez. A scoundrel named Olivares, I think is how I say it, said that the flatboat had come loose from its mooring during the storm, and he claimed the craft and its cargo by right of salvage. It's just a tricky way to steal something. Apparently, the stress proved to be too much for Jeremiah Routh. He died in 1791, and the estate was left to his 2 sons, Job and Jeremiah. That's funny. The guy's name is Job. It's not Job, J-O-B. Maybe that's how you spell Job. I don't know, but I like calling him Job. The 2 sons divided up the property. Several years later, a judge ordered Olivares to reimburse Job for the cost of the stolen lumber. Following his marriage to Anne Madeline Miller, the guy's stupid name. Following his marriage to Anne Madeline Miller on May 30th, 1792, Job. Come on, man, just read. Job purchased. Come on. Job purchased additional. This is stupid. I should not be laughing this hard at this guy's name. This is spooky, remember, everyone. Come on. Someone asked me before if this is a joke and if I joke around. I had to answer this last week. No, this isn't a joke. I take this very seriously. I love ghost stories. I get very scared. But this guy's name is Job, and it's making it hard for me to do my job. Okay. I can't read his name. Why? Why is that funny? It's not funny. Come on. You idiot. This is ridiculous. Let's be serious. This is a professional stream. Job purchased additional acreage. That's not. Why does every word seem weird? Oh, Becky. Sorry, guys. Becky, if you're watching, text Siobhan and ask her the word that is so funny to me. What the heck is that word? There's a word that's so funny to me, and it's just like, it's like acclamation or something, and it just sounds like a fake word. Siobhan, what is the funny word to me? I just sent her a voice memo. What's going on here in the chat? Sorry, guys. I'm like so distracted, right? Let's get 8 to 100 likes. Yeah, that'd be nice. Thanks, Dorlaxon. Bye, Evie. Okay, I am like so not reading these stories right now. Is it pronounced Job, Sir Snafflepuss? But why isn't there an E? That would make it Job. Is Job really set as when it's a name said Job? Am I that dumb? I mean, I'm dumb. We all know that. I can't read it all. Hey, Phelan, what's up? Riccavali, hello. During every burial of family members of mine, it has been met with rain or thunderstorms. Or whoa, that's spooky. Dorlaxon, was he saying a lot of nonsense? That's so funny. I'm gonna call him Job. I've never seen the spelling of Job. I know on Arrested Development the guy's name is Job. Yeah, but I should read the Bible. There's probably some spooky stories in there. Well, not in the church, in a house normally, but I'm calling this dude Job. That's for sure. Job. All right. Sorry. Story is so broken up. I liked better his job. Me too. Was it Gob? Was his name spelled Gob? Gob in Arrested Development? Steve Job. Yeah. See? It should be an E. Hello, Phelan. I was able to donate to your Streamlabs before I was able. I was able. Oh, cool. So you were able to do it this time. Nice. Oh, whoa, Project Retro Bomb. I see your $5 donation to my Streamlabs that just happened right now. Thank you very much. Is that you, Riccavalli? All right. Thank you guys for the donations. Thank you very much. All right. I'm going to continue the story about Job. I really want to find out what that funny word is to me. Siobhan remembers. It's just such a dumb sounding word. Everything sounds funny right now. Acreage. That's funny. Why is that funny? And no, I do not do drugs, for if you're wondering. All right. Here we go. So back to this story. So this guy tried to build a house. All the lumber that was on a boat to build his house floated away. Some guy took it, says it's mine now because it was out in the ocean. A judge told the guy to give it back to the guy's son, Job. So Job, I guess, is getting the wood. Oh man, I have farts. Okay, so here we go. He also acquired a 1,700-acre land grant south of the center of Natchez. Over the years, Job has sold off most of his land holdings, except for the 50 acres on which he had built Routhland. That's cool. He named the whole land after himself. John Routh died of debility. What the heck is debility? Debility. Oh, debility. Wow. I really need to read more often. This is the worst stream ever. I really am having a hard time. Okay. He died of debility on December 12th, 1834. His property, including his slaves, was divided among his 9 children. Routh's daughter, Mary, who had married a wealthy planter named Thomas Ellis in 1829, when she was 16, that's messed up. Slaves and marrying people when you're 16, dude, things were demented way back then. Get out of here. When she was married when she was 16, inherited Routhland after Tom Ellis died in 1839. A lot of names here. I'm not sure who's who, but I think this is a daughter of Job. Mary married a Natchez banker named Charles Dahlgren. Nice. Dolph Lundgren's cousin. Dahlgren immediately took control of Job Routh's holdings in Mississippi and Louisiana and settled all of his father-in-law's debts. On August 18th, 1855, the Dahlgrens' fortunes, which had been steadily rising since their marriage, were drastically reversed when their home, Routhland, burned down while they were vacationing in Beersheba Springs, Tennessee. Dahlgren decided to start all over by building an entirely new mansion where Routhland once stood. He used a plan for a Greek revival mansion that appeared in the book The Architecture of Country Houses. All right, there's a lot of history on these stories. I think this 2 paragraphs from here, it starts to get spooky. I see Cruel Twist of Fate coming up. There's only 2 more pages. So I'm going to read this one, and then I might just go to the fiction ones, because I don't want to be reading history lessons here. Affin, I really love you for donating this book, though. I do. So thank you. He used a plan for a Greek revival mansion that appeared in the book The Architecture of Country Houses, 1856, by Alexander Jackson Davis and Andrew Jackson Downing. The mansion was constructed between 1856 and 1857. The exterior was lined with 26 Doric columns. The five-story mansion included a cellar, two parlors, four bedrooms, a library, a dining room, and an arcade with four Neo Geo arcade cabinets, MVS. 24 megs of insanity. I wish. A dining room and an attic with dormer windows. The kitchen, laundry, and slaves' quarters were located in a building in the back. In a cruel twist of fate, Mary Dahlgren spent only 3 months in her new home before dying of heart trouble in March of 1858. She was 45 years old. Charles Dahlgren put the new Routhland up for sale in March of 1858. Wow, all these places are built and then they get burnt down right away. That's awesome. Because I don't like these people. They have slaves. So I'm okay with their places burning down. Oh, wait, no, this one didn't burn down. She just died. But these people, you got a slave. You're not a very good person. You don't deserve your big house. Sorry. I'm on my soapbox tonight. On January 4th, 1858, Alfred Vidal Davis purchased Routhland from Charles Dahlgren. He immediately renamed his new home Dunleith. The title of the story. After the Civil War broke out in 1861, Davis formed a volunteer infantry company called Natchez Rifles. His troop later became part of the 14th Louisiana Infantry. Davis's wife, Sarah, joined up with her husband's regiment on the way to Richmond. She left one of her household slaves, Catherine White, in charge of Dunleith. In her absence. When Davis returned to Dunleith in 1867, Natchez was under the control of Yankees. His wife, Sarah, died 2 years later. Dunleith had a number of different owners after the Civil War. Alfred Vidal Davis sold the mansion to Hiram M. Baldwin in 1866. Following Baldwin's sudden death in 1868, Dunleith was sold to John R. Stockham. They keep getting sold. Joseph Niebert, carpenter, for $20,000. Okay, this guy bought it for $20,000. Carpenter made a fortune by investing in a hardware store, a grocery store, railroad and steamboat lines, and cottonseed oil mills. He and his family made generous donations to Natchez schools over the years. The Carpenter family owned Dunleith until 1976. Dunleith has been on the National Register of Historic Places since 1935. In 1976, Dunleith was purchased by William Hines and converted into a bed and breakfast. In 1999, Miss Edward Worley and her son, Michael Worley, spent a considerable amount of time and money renovating the old mansion. The antebellum mansion's signature ghost story focuses on a harp that once stood in the front parlor. That's what I want to hear about. Tell me the ghost story. Dunleith is haunted by a relative of Miss Charles Dahlgren, remembered today only as Miss Percy. In her book, 13 Mississippi Ghosts and Jeffrey. 13 Mississippi Ghosts and Jeffrey. That's a cool title. Writer Catherine Tucker says that Miss Percy fell in love with a dashing young Frenchman. Some people say that he was a count. Others believe... I don't think it's going to get... This is just very factual. I don't think it's going to be very spooky. Okay, we're going to play the tour guide related to this tragic tale. Alright, I'm going to read this last page. It could get spooky. Some people say that she was a count. Others believe that she was high-ranking French officer. The two were inseparable, and many people believed that a wedding was in the planning stages. One day, the Frenchman professed his undying love for Miss Percy, but the smile on her face immediately turned into a frown when she said that he was going to have to return to France on business, promising that he would return to her soon. He kissed her and disappeared into the night. Months passed without a word from her lover. Finally, Miss Percy decided to travel to France to find out why she had not received any letter from her paramour. Several weeks later, Miss Percy returned from Europe, her head bowed in shame. Her lover had fallen in love with someone else in France, but did not have the heart to tell Miss Percy. Dang, that stinks. She returned to Dunleith and lived in an upstairs bedroom. Every afternoon, she walked downstairs in the front parlor and strummed melancholy songs on the harp. 4 years she repeated this sad ritual before finally dying in Dunleith. Dang. For over a century, people staying at Dunleith claimed to have heard the faint tones of harp music coming from the parlor. That's spooky. When I stayed at Dunleith in August 2009, a tour guide told me that one morning in 2008, a guest complained that she had been awakened in the middle of the night by someone playing a harp in the parlor. The harp is not the one owned by Dunleith by the Dahlgren family. The Worley family purchased it in about 2000. The tour guide showed the harp to the guest, who realized that it was in such poor condition that no one could have been able to play it. The tour guide then related the tragic tale of Miss Percy, the lonely woman who continues to drown her sorrows in music. Okay, that's a pretty good ending. But I'm going to switch books to the one that we all know is very spooky. The one about aliens and stuff. And ghosts. Chappie, holy crap. Affin, $5. Dang, I was hoping there would be more actual ghost stories. That's all right. I'm going to read through it for next week, and then I'll pick the ones that are kind of spooky. So thank you, Affin. Thank you for sending that book. Spanky, thank you for that $5. Dang, man, I'm sinking Lincoln big time. Hey, Nathan, any chance we'll ever see more Youth Large? Spanky, I wish there'd be more Youth Large, but unfortunately, no, because Adult Swim produced that, and it cost $120,000, and we wouldn't really be able to make another episode on par with that. So probably not, unless another network gives us money to do it, because we don't want to shoot it web series style. It would just look like crap compared. But that was just a pilot for Adult Swim, so that's what it is. Maybe there'll be another Keith show in the future. Chappie, welcome. Hey, dude. Your friend behind you keeps making weird faces. I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna look. I'm like, okay, and I haven't been scared. And then when Chappie shows up, I start getting chills because he says those things. And Chappie, your image, your avatar is spooky, man. This book is too much literature. I like more raw scary stories. Yeah, Pixels. Just lurking chat with a video to not ruin my data. Oh, that's cool, Evie. Glad you're just listening. All right, I'm gonna get the other book. What? I'm going to look, but when I get up and I go over there to get the other book, I'm not gonna turn around right now. Nothing behind me. Can't fool me. I'm a brave man. You probably can't even hear what I'm saying right now. All right. So, back to my reliable books. I got my Nantucket Ghost Stories, which I'm almost positive I read every single story from. And then I haven't read every one in this one, so I'm going to read some more from that. I'm going to read this back section that I've been avoiding. This section is called Eating My Own Dog Food. I have no idea what that means, but we're going to find out. Sorry, bear with me. All right. Let's get to it. Some wet water. I'm super dehydrated. Thank you again to everyone who donated. Hope I'm not missing anyone. Yeah, Mike, this cup rules. Maybe I can try to get another one from them and I can send it to you. I do not think that would be hilarious, Charisma. Do not want someone to jump scare me. Luckily, no one can get in here unless I see them coming straight at me. All right. Didn't I read this one? Oh, I did read this one. Okay, I didn't read this. This story. Ooh. This story from Jim Harold's Campfire Volume 1 is titled What Are the Chances? I don't think I read it. I had some good friends who moved to the southwest of England, down in Cornwall. I gotta stay them for a bit. Um, did I read this? I did read that one. I read it last week. Maybe I did read all of these. Oh, from the movies. Just trying to skim this. I don't think I read this one. I mean, there's some here I haven't read. There's Eating My Own Dog Food. Okay. This is the section I did not read. All right. This is a whole new section of stories. This chapter, section, whatever, from Jim Harold's Campfire, Volume 1, is called Eating My Own Dog Food. And he says, at the beginning of this book, I mentioned that I have felt destined to be involved in the paranormal world. This feeling did not come only from my childhood fascination with programs like In Search of or The Twilight Zone, but something far more personal. Experiences of my own and of loved ones have convinced me that there is something to all of these paranormal stories. My family is salt of the earth, and certainly not the type to sleep with crystals under their beds, to summon some universal wisdom or study their chakras. To them, a cigar is a cigar, and life is pretty straightforward. Yet, I grew up with supernatural stories and later experienced my own weird tales that solidified my lifelong obsession with the topic at hand. So join me as I close this book by telling my own stories and eating my own dog food around the campfire. That's what that means. Okay, so these stories are from Jim himself, the guy that hosts this show called Jim Harold's Campfire. And if you haven't listened or checked it out, you really should check out. It's a podcast called Jim Harold's Campfire. In this book, I've said it a million times, but for the ones who are new here, these stories are from callers who call in. That's what his show is. People call in and tell their ghost stories. That's something I want to do too on this stream. I want to get some people to call in. I got to figure out the Discord. I don't know how to get into the Discord. So I got to figure that out. And then you guys can call in tell me your ghost stories, because I think that would be cool. Anyways, Jim, the host of the show, these are his personal stories. This story of Jim's is called It Lit Up the Whole Sky. Chapters 67 and 68 are stories that my father has told me since I was a small child. I'm always fascinated by them. Maybe I read this. Dang it. I think I read like literally every story in this book. One night, we'll find out. One night at about 11 o'clock, we were back in the mountains on vacation, and me and your mom decided to take a ride through the mountains. We pulled off and went... Yep, I did read this. Come on. I read everything. There's someone in here. Me and your mother worked in the steel mill together. Okay, this one I did not read. Finally. AK-47s can make you a believer. Oh gosh, I don't like the title of this one. I hate guns. This first person account of mine is not paranormal per se, but similar to the upcoming Why I Hate Logging Trucks chapter. It makes me ponder questions of coincidence, fate, and destiny. Are some things meant to be while others aren't? You be the judge. It was the summer of 1994, and I was very much in love with my new girlfriend, Dar. Still am, in fact. She has been my wife for the last 14 years, and I am blessed. Though we are thankful still very much though we are thankfully still very much into each other, that summer was a special time for us. Gosh, freaking words. A time without a mortgage, kids, or many adult responsibilities. Most of you know that thrill when you first start going out with someone. That person is perfect. Every minute is a revelation, and every experience is accentuated. So we were having a great time. One of the best of my life. I really hope I didn't read this story. I started remembering them halfway through. All that week, we were looking forward to the weekend. Every weekend was a party for us. We weren't particularly wild. Our average weekend entailed seeing a movie or going out drinking a bit with our friends. In short, it was a heck of a lot of fun. This weekend was going to be even better than usual. Thanks to my menial job at a local radio station, we got free tickets to one of the best amusement parks in the country, Cedar Point. I've heard of that. We were going to go with a couple of friends and their family. We were jazzed about it. At 24, I was still a kid in many ways. I loved roller coasters and amusement parks. I still do. The trip would also be a chance to get out of my house, which I hated. I grew up in the Broadway area of Cleveland in the city. Once a proud working class area, it had fallen into ruin about 8 months before the story begins. I had moved to Slavic Village, a Slavic village home that was considered a slight move up from where I'd grown up. It was an old 2-story A-frame house, dark blue in color. I wasn't crazy about it. It was too much house for me. I didn't have the furniture to fill it, and I was making slave wages at the station, and it seemed unsafe. Next door, there seemed to be a bunch of unsupervised teenagers who had taken up residence. I had told Dar my concerns, and she said I was being paranoid, but I had this feeling. In fact, I had just signed a lease for a modest apartment in the suburbs where, guess what, Dar lived. Whoa. But it wouldn't be ready for a few weeks, so I was stuck in Slavic Village. I told my landlord that week that I would be moving soon. I don't think he was thrilled about it, but he was a very good guy. He liked me because I didn't have crazy parties or tear up his place, and I paid my rent on time like clockwork. Back to Cedar Point. We went that Saturday and had the great time we had predicted. Little did I know as we're driving home that it could have been what the heck? What did I know as we're driving home that it could have been my last good time? Whoa. Or my last time experiencing anything at all on this earth. If things had worked out slightly differently, oh man. My friends had driven us all because they had a minivan, and they dropped Dar and me at my place at about 1:30 a.m. to pick up my car so I could drive her home, about 40 minutes away. All the way there, she insisted that I asked her father Antonio if I could sleep on their couch overnight. She was very concerned that I would fall asleep driving back to my place. She was right. I was exhausted, but I was very reluctant to stay. Her father scared the hell out of me. He was an Italian-born working-class guy and not exactly what you'd call warm and fuzzy. Don't get me wrong, he was always nice to me, but I could see that he would probably not be so nice if you crossed him. At that point, Dar and I had only been going out for about 4 months, and I didn't feel that I was in a position to ask to sleep over. In fact, I was dead set against it. Still, after about 30 minutes of jaw boning, I gave in. I slept over. There were no problems, and we all actually had a nice family breakfast the next morning. At that point, I could tell that I had been accepted by her father. Dar later told me that her dad would never have done that for anyone else she dated. It was a high compliment. I drove her home Sunday feeling happy, feeling good about pretty much everything, even though it had been only 4 months. I could see that Dar and I had a long-term future. I drove up to my house and parked on the street right in front of my erstwhile abode. Across the street, I saw Dave, the landlord's son. He was talking to a neighbor and pointing toward our side of the street. I walked over to see what was up. "Hi, Dave, what's going on?" I asked innocently. I was very green. "We've got to talk," he said. "There's been a drive-by." Whoa. Is this... Still clueless, I asked whose house had been hit. "Our house," he said. Upon further examination, while we walked over to the wounded 2-story, I could see holes in the windows and the wooded siding. In 1994, this was certainly a changing neighborhood, but still considered one of the city's safer areas. Several years later, it would really start a downhill slide, but not yet. Not in 1994. It turns out that several rounds of armor-piercing AK-47 fire, holy crap, had been launched into our home sometime in the early morning hours while I was peacefully sleeping on Antonio's couch. Talking to Dave, I could tell that he was shaken. He lived in the back of the house and slept on the first floor, and live rounds had flown around him when all of this went down. I went into my apartment and was astonished at the sight. The double door fridge that my uncle had given me had a hole in both exterior walls and the internal one, too. Dang, dude. Ketchup bottle inside had taken a direct hit. My poor microwave, which I had only had for a couple of months, had been used for target practice and didn't stand a chance. I always slept on the second floor, and no rounds had landed there. But if I'd been there, could these would-be assassins have been laying in wait for me? Would I have gotten thirsty in the middle of the night and adventured into the firing zone for a drink of water? Who knows? According to the landlord's son, the police who came to investigate were astonished that such a violent act had taken place in this relatively peaceful neighborhood. So they wanted to know more about me. I guess they internally thought I might be some kind of underground kingpin or drug dealer. If you knew me personally, you'd realize how truly hilarious that is. I laugh even now thinking about it. Okay, last page. Later that day, with the help of my friend who had gone with us to Cedar Point, I got all my belongings out of my house and into his garage. I never stayed another night in what had become a modern-day OK Corral because my apartment wouldn't be ready for another month. I stayed in Antonio's spare room. I must really have passed the test. Wow. But why was my house shot up? Remember those unsupervised teenagers next door? My dear Dar was wrong. I wasn't being paranoid. I was being observant. Having lived in the city for 23 years must have given me some street smarts. The kids were no good, and worse, they lived in a light blue house next to my dark blue one. It seems they had been involved in the theft of some motorcycle parts. I made myself scarce after the shooting happened, so I don't have many details, but they may have crossed a gang of some type. Bad move. Luckily for the teenagers next door, at the time of the shooting, it was dark, and the streetlights lent an orange tint to everything. Wow. So when the shooters were told to hit a blue house on our block, their light blue house looked white, whereas mine looked very blue. Bang, bang, dead fridge and microwave. As I said at the beginning, this story is not paranormal per se. However, it is one hell of a coincidence. Would I have been killed if I had been there that night? Maybe. A great marriage and 2 kids later, I often think about that night and how things could have been different. So when somebody asks me if I believe in fate, I say there's a good shot there's something to it. Wow. So that's Jim Harold's own story. That's pretty interesting. Okay. I'm going to keep reading. Are people liking these? Is this good? You guys like his stories? It doesn't seem like they're going to be paranormal. That's right. Examination. Doesn't that word sound fake? Examination is so funny to me. I don't know why. That's the word. I listen to old metal like Slayer. I don't listen to any music. This one is pretty good. Yeah, I like these stories much better. Yeah, pretty good so far. Keep it up. Okay. Affin, I still love you for sending me that book. Examination just sounds like there's too much. Like exam. Yep, that sounds fine. Examine. Yep, that sounds fine. Examination. Doesn't sound right. Adding Asian to examine sounds like it's just like you're saying like examinationing. It sounds like too much. You're adding 3 words to a word. Examination. Give me a break. That sounds so funny to me. That's always sounded funny to me. Well, it just started being funny like 2 years ago. I don't know why. It just doesn't sound right. All right. This next story from Jim Harold's Campfire Volume 1 is called Why I Hate Logging Trucks. And this story is from Jim himself. While visiting my cousin in West Virginia in the late 80s, I had an experience that I'll never forget. It was really weird and potentially fatal. Dang. One of the things I loved to do in West Virginia was walk around and experience the majestic beauty of Mother Nature. Yeah, she's a babe. Though my family was from the sticks, I was born and bred in the inner city. Not the suburbs, but the cold, hard city. Growing up, I could see the smokestacks of the steel mills of Republic Steel from my house. So getting to breathe the fresh air was a great treat. After a few days of my expeditions, I heard through the grapevine, my cousin, that his cousin is grapevine, that one of the neighborhood girls liked the cut of my jib. Author's note: I was pretty cute back then. Anyhow, I was leaving later this particular day to go back to this big city, but somehow the neighborhood girl and I arranged to meet through my cousin. Our big rendezvous was a 15-minute walk through the small town. I can't imagine what we thought would come of it. This was pre-internet, so no Skyping here. After talking and walking, we came up to a large logging truck parked on the side of the road. We split up and each of us walked on one side of the truck with a huge load of chained logs. She on the left and I on the right. As I walked past it, something told me to get the hell away from that truck. Oh, dude. Yeah, I always freak out when I see giant secured loads on the side of a truck, because I just always think it's going to break, and that I'm guessing it's going to happen. I had the sense that those logs were going to fall off. I walked past the truck a little faster than I normally would have, and chalked the feeling up to my overactive imagination. We walked about another 15 feet, and then we heard a loud noise behind us. Sure enough, the logs had fallen off exactly where I had been walking. I wasn't so paranoid after all. The girl and I walked a little more and exchanged addresses. I don't think we ever communicated after that. I think we were both so freaked out, we just decided to drop it then and there. So Christine, wherever you are, I hope it's been a nice life so far. Continued best wishes. And one more thing, stay away from those damn logging trucks. Whoa, that's cool. That's a weird one. This guy avoids death all the time. Alright. This next story, let's keep it going here. This next story from Jim Harold's Campfire. You guys into this? Is it working out? Are you liking these stories? I'm going to continue if so. Are you enjoying yourselves in the chat? I don't know if I missed anything. Just checking to see I didn't miss a donation. Nope. Okay, cool. Hi. Okay, I'm going back to the book. However, I was in a bus backstage at the Warped Tour with all the bands, and some random dude, I guess, from a band I don't know name, came into our bus in nothing but a kilt, walking up in the morning screaming. Whoa, Evie, that's freaky. That happened to me when I was wrestling. Like, damn, that thing didn't break. Left alone. These stories much better, shorter, and to the point. Yeah, I like the short ones. This book's been pretty good with the length of stories. They're always pretty quick. My friend Becky thinks the word wildebeest is funny. That's a funny one. Hey, what's up, Byron? Baran. What is the scariest scenario or place could you possibly be dropped in? Oh, geez, that's a good question, Phelan. Probably left alone in the woods at night somewhere if I didn't know where I was and I just had to find my way out. That would freak me out. Yeah. I think that's probably the scariest place I could be left. Yeah, short stories does mean more stories, Mike. Xylophone. That's a fun word. Mike, last week I read... You guys hear my farts? I am ripping them this week. Last week I read 20 stories. I was doing the time code for the YouTube link after it's not live when it becomes a video, and I try to put time code for each story for people who want to. If you guys want to hear some good stories, watch the episode from last week if you weren't here, and look at the top comment that I made, because I have like the stories all marked out and you can click to each one. There are some good ones in there from last week, so check those out if you weren't here last week. All right, back to it. This story is called Turn Your Radio On. Boo. Jim Harold's Campfire. Turn Your Radio On. For those not familiar, Turn Your Radio On is the title of an old country gospel song. About a dozen years ago, I had an experience involving my radio. It did not pick up God as the song suggests. I have so many burps. But I am pretty sure that it picked up a signal from my brother who had died just a few days before. Whoa. My brother Huey was autistic. I've mentioned it on my shows a few times. My parents were devoted to my brother and were determined not to lock him away in a home. This I admire. Their self-sacrifice was unbelievable, but I do think that they made him so dependent on them that they were actually hurting him, making him less self-sufficient than he could have been. That being said, now as a parent of two young girls, I have no idea how I would have reacted to such a burden. It was an incredibly tough situation. My parents had moved to a rural area down south as I stayed in Ohio after college. I got married and bought a home, so I was staying put up north. I would generally visit them a couple of times a year. We talked on a regular basis, so I was always up to date on everyone's health. Early in one particular week in February, my mom told me that they had taken my brother to the doctor because he had a very nasty cold. 3 or 4 days later, I called and spoke to him. He could only speak in somewhat unintelligible words, but my mom put him on the line. I said hello, and he said hi back. I could tell that he was very congested, and I expressed my concern. The next day at work, I worried about him and had a really ominous feeling. That night, about 10 p.m., my uncle called and said they were taking Huey to the nearest hospital about 20 miles away. He had been rushed there by an ambulance. He was having trouble breathing, so my parents acted quickly. After the call, I told my wife, Dar, that I thought my brother was going to die. Oh, dude. She thought I was overreacting. He was still in his 20s, and there was no reason to think that doctors couldn't re-stabilize him at the hospital. But I was so worried that I stayed up until 2 a.m. to hear what happened. When I got the call, I found out that, sadly, I was right. He had died from severe pneumonia. I was shocked. It seemed so surreal, impossible. That poor boy, to be born with autism, and now this. Jeez. Dar, pregnant with our first daughter, and I packed up the next day and took the I can't read this word. Inevitable. This is a word that I'm gonna go, oh my god, I've said this a million times. Sometimes you come across a word that you say, but you've never read it, and it messes with your head. I am embarrassed right now. I watched back one of the episodes, and I couldn't get to this word, and then I go, oh, and then I said it. Whatever. I'm not even going to say it because I'm going to embarrass myself. It's a kind of confusing word. We packed up the next day and drove back. It was horrible. My parents, I don't mean to be laughing during this is kind of sad. My parents had so wrapped their lives around Huey that it was as though their reason for being had evaporated. They might not like that I am writing this chapter. They have never gotten over Huey's death. My brother's room is almost exactly the way it was when he died more than a decade ago. Jeepers. The trip back home was tough. We talked about what had happened as I scanned around the radio and found a Music of Your Life station. I have always liked these stations because I love the music of Sinatra, Nat King Cole, and the like. Anyhow, taking a little comfort from the radio was something to draw my attention away from the terrible experience of the last week. My brother had liked music too. He loved different kinds of all people. He really liked Lawrence Welk He really liked Lawrence Welk. When we were little kids in the 70s, Welk's show was still in syndication, and Huey had taken quite a liking to it. Once the show went over to PBS, he continued to watch it. It was a favorite. This was unusual for a 20-something, but Huey's condition made him different from the average bear. It was fair to say that he thought Welk was wonderful. Wonderful, that's quotes, as Welk used to say on his shows. He was probably one of Huey's top 3 or 4 favorite musicians. Anyhow, I was talking to Dar in the car. I noticed this instrumental playing on the radio. The song sounded familiar, but because it had no words, I couldn't figure it out. After it was over, the DJ about made me run off the road. That, of course, was Lawrence Welk with the 1961 hit Calcutta, said the announcer. You have to remember that even in the late 90s, you did not hear Lawrence Welk on the radio, not even on an oldie station. It was highly unusual for that rather obscure cut to be played at the exact time we were driving in that area, on the exact station I'd turned to. I am convinced that Huey was saying something. I'm all right, big brother. Don't worry about me. It's okay. That's, I just got chills. Somehow he managed to communicate from the other side better than he could have when he was living with autism. I'm so glad I turned my radio on that day and heard his transmission. Here's mine if you're listening, Huey. I love you, brother. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's very sad, but pretty cool ending. I totally believe that. Stuff like that happens all the time, and we always say, what's it mean? What's it mean? Like, there's always, it's like this weird, crazy coincidences. So here's a bonus story, and then I'm going to take a quick couple-minute break, and I'm going to scan through the other book to try to find some stories I haven't read. Hello, everyone in the chat. And it's got cringy. Oh, what got cringy? Me not being able to read? Or are you talking about something in the chat? Just trying to catch up on what you guys are talking about. I go to the neighborhood Walmart to do food shopping. Maybe the big ones. Depends on the woods, really. Some have people. No. You guys talking about scary places to be left in the middle of? Oh, the chat got cringy. Ah, look who's here. Well, Tom Flaherty says. You guys all know Tom Flaherty, co-host of the Conspiracy Show. Who knows? I'm all out of wet water. I need more wet water. Excuse me. You guys should check out, if you haven't, please go follow. All you got, it doesn't cost anything. It's free. Please go follow. It's in the description. Our Twitch channel, Beyond Worlds, where at the end of August we are doing, it's finally coming back, the Conspiracy Show with me, Cheffid, and Tom. It's called Who Knows. You may have seen it in the past. We sit in a room covered in foil, tin foil, and Tom briefs us on all these insane conspiracies, and then we have call-ins. We try to get to the bottom of it, and we're gonna have field pieces. We will have the premiere of my my ghost investigation on the Queen Mary, the haunted boat. I went and stayed overnight. I also stayed overnight at another haunted hotel recently. It's called the Mission Inn. Man, that's one of the coolest hotels I've ever been to. It's so cool, and it's got all kinds of spooky haunted stuff going on in it. I stayed in both those places, and I filmed in both places, and we will be showing on the Conspiracy Show those videos. So please go follow and subscribe, do whatever you can to the Beyond Worlds Twitch. Please. It's in the description. Really want people to tune in for when we come back in, like, I guess it's going to be like 2 weeks now, right, Tom? About 2 or 3 weeks. At the end of August, around August 20th, we're going to do the next Conspiracy Show. Do you think Cheffid is a Cryptid? What is a cryptid? Colin, are you talking about I'm Your Hero because of this stream you're watching right now, the Ghost Story stream, or my Twitch, Beyond Worlds? Phelan, what are you talking about? What's going on? Can you imagine being left on an island with 100,000 Nathan Barnatts? If you don't dance, you'd be forced to learn. I'm not a good dancer. I stink. I just like to flop around. Yes, the foil is coming back, Pixels. Get ready. Is there such thing as dry water? Yeah, it's like air. Sand. Sand and air are dry water. There you go. Dry water is the worst. It hurts your throat because of all his content. Oh, well, thanks, Coin. Thanks for being here. Phelan says, scroll up. A cryptid is like an animal that shouldn't exist. Tom, I think you're an animal that shouldn't exist. If you guys want to know Tom in here in the chat, Burger, aka Burger. Scroll up. Ooh, Phelan. What am I scrolling up to see? Oh, your last comment? It's really hard for me to read all this. Find what I'm supposed to look for. He got out of the tent, but the forest was clear. Needless to say, he said him and his girlfriend left their stuff behind and got out of there. That's the end. Okay, my great uncle decided to camp in a forest on my grandfather's land with his girlfriend. They decided to go sleep, and suddenly it sounded like hands slapping the tent, like a crowd of people. This is the Blair Witch movie. That's what happened on Blair Witch. That happened to your uncle? That is the scariest part of the Blair Witch movie. That is my scariest. The part that freaks me out the most. Seeing those hands and then running through the woods when they're running in pitch black. You can't see how close someone is behind you. That's my number one fear. When I said being left in the woods alone. Because you can't see if someone is 6 inches from you behind you. And I don't want to see them. And like I hate the idea of running in the dark and not knowing how close they are. I am fine running from someone where I can see them because I know I can outrun them. But when it's black, I need the confidence and the reassurance that they are far behind me. But just the act of running from someone in pitch black woods scares me because you can't see how close they are. I hate that. I look forward to this every Wednesday. Well, thanks, Chris, and thanks for being here. If you guys like this, please support it if you can. Donations really do help. This is my 9 to 5. I hate saying it. I have to say it every once in a while, but this is 100% my 9 to 5 job. This is and has been for the past month how I pay rent. So if you can and like it and like watching and you have a couple dollars, please you can donate directly to my PayPal using the Streamlabs link in the description or right here in the super chat. Whatever you prefer. All right, I'm gonna read this one more story. I'm gonna read this one more story at the end. I'm gonna take a 60-second break, and I'm gonna scroll through the book to find the stories I haven't read, and then I will continue. I need to stand up because this chair starts to hurt my back after sitting for a while. All right, this is the last story from Jim himself, the host of Jim Harold's Campfire, Volume 1. That's the title of this book. I should get his other chapters. My smoke machine is out of smoke. Dang it. Oh. There we go. Now it's spooky. This story is called Herman by Campfire Contest winner Janice. Oh, this is a bonus story. It's a contest winner. This is cool. We thought that it would be fun to have a campfire essay contest in which listeners could submit their stories of strangeness. Thanks to all of our entrants. Congratulations to listener Janice for her winning entry titled Herman. All right, this is going to be good. I am no stranger to the paranormal. My mother's farmhouse, a few miles away from my grandparents, is nearly 200 years old, and we have had many paranormal experiences there. Everything from levitating objects to disappearing, reappearing objects, cold spots, footsteps, music that has no source, and full-body apparitions. Wow, this is awesome. I love this story already. All of these and more become routine growing up on the farm. The paranormal doesn't shake me, but it does make me more interested to find out the truth. Come on. About 8 years ago, I had an experience I'll never forget. I was 22 years old, a military wife, and a new mother. My husband was deployed overseas, so my 11-month-old daughter and I were living with my grandparents. Both of my grandparents were in failing health. The house was only about 50 years old, having been built by my grandfather in the 1960s. My daughter and I shared a bedroom in the finished basement of the house. One clear summer night, I was lying in bed, not asleep yet. My daughter was in her crib a few feet away from my bed. The top 3 feet or so of the basement where we were staying was above ground with windows high up. Just want to make sure I read that right. Yeah, above ground with windows high up on the walls, allowing the moonlight to shine in the room. The windows were open. It was a warm night that was typical for early summer in the Pennsylvania countryside. Suddenly, I became aware of a very uncomfortable feeling. I couldn't quite establish what this feeling was, just that I was feeling very, very uneasy. I glanced down toward the bottom of the bed and saw that what I thought was my daughter toddling along the bottom of the bed. Dude, the smoke machine is on cue with that one. I could only see the shadow of the top of her head. I remember thinking that she must have crawled out of her crib and was coming to get in bed with me. I smiled and laid my head back down, waiting for her to come to the side of the bed. I felt her grab the bedspread to pull herself up on top of the bed, and I thought I would give her a little help. When I tried to reach over to the side of the bed, though, I found I was unable to move. Sounds like you had sleep paralysis. My first reaction was that this was very strange. A second passed and I still couldn't move. I couldn't feel her tugging on the bed covers. Climbing climbing up the side of the bed, and I became alarmed, thinking I was having a stroke or seizure. Any explanation for my sudden paralysis? Just then, the little figure made it up the top of the bed and crawled over to me, and I fought a panic. I've never felt before. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading. This, It was not my daughter. It was not human at all. I don't know what exactly it was, but it was roughly 2 feet tall, greenish brown, and resembled what I can only describe as Yoda. This sounds like something that happened to my friend Siobhan. She had sleep paralysis, and this demon laid down next to her and looked right in her face, and she couldn't move, and she was freaking out. But it was like sleep paralysis, and I think that's a common thing when you have sleep paralysis. You'll see like this weird demon. So that's what it seems like this is. I'm surprised that this story is like the best story because it sounds like a very run-of-the-mill sleep paralysis story. Don't mean to judge it, but let me just get back to it, and we'll see what happens. I was in a full-blown panic. I could feel my heart pounding and my chest heaving, and I was shaking like a leaf. This thing crawled up onto my chest and sat down cross-legged and just studied my face. I still couldn't move and couldn't make a sound. I remember feeling my heart beating harder and harder. This is pretty long sleep paralysis because usually you wake up after a second. Okay, this is getting pretty interesting. My breath was coming faster and faster, and I began to think that if this continued, I was going to go into cardiac arrest. I have no idea how long it sat on me, just looking at me with a quizzical expression. 30 seconds, maybe a few minutes, but it felt like an eternity. Just when I thought that my heart was going to hammer right out of my chest, the little figure got a sudden look of complete surprise on its face. It never said a word, but I distinctly felt it send a wave of emotion over me. It was as if it was telepathically apologizing for frightening me to such a degree because it didn't mean to scare me. With that, it hopped up, jumped off the bed, and scampered out the door of the bedroom. Instantly, I could move, and I flew out of bed, grabbed my still sleeping daughter out of the crib, and ran with everything I had out through the apartment and up the stairs to the main house, flipping on every light I passed. I spent the night in the recliner upstairs that night with the lights on. My daughter curled up happily in my arms. For the next 6 months, I slept with all the lights on, blazing the apartment at night. Then I figured if I gave it a silly, non threatening name, I could make it a little less scary. So each night before bed, I would stop at my bedroom door, look around the apartment, and say, "No visits tonight, Herman." It helped a little. I still don't know what it was. It's never returned, and for that, I'm glad. I have never experienced anything like that before or since. I have been through some pretty distressing situations in my life, but I've never been so afraid of anything. Janice in Pennsylvania. That story is called Herman. So that story, that's cool and it's spooky, but I honestly think because her grandparents were both in failing health, her husband was at war, and she was at home with an 11-month-old baby. It sounds like she probably had a lot of stress in her life at the time, whether she knew it or not, and sleep paralysis is caused by stress. And that is like a classic street sleep paralysis story. So I don't really believe that story to be anything crazy. Dang! Cake Pews back with the knock. Dude, that's way more knocks than you normally give. You give like 50 knocks, which is a 7. That's about $15. Thanks, knock. One day my laptop gave me a strange message at school, then proceeded to shut down all other school computers. What? I must add this was my own lappy, and I don't know how to hack at all. Holy crap. That's crazy. Dude, your laptop is haunted. What is this? I see Chappie doing something. Ah, okay, it's Herman behind you. I don't like that. Now that I'm mocking that story, I'm not mocking, okay? I'm not mocking the story, any ghosts or spooks or demons that are in here. I just think that could be sleep paralysis, but now you're making me freaked out that I think Herman's not going to be happy and is going to be mad at me for not liking the story. Sleep paralysis is when you've been cloned. You wake up before they've deactivated your consciousness from your clone, and the demons are the vril reptiles. What the heck, Charisma? My family would say that sleep paralysis was when you'd lose your bones. Great aunt said she tried to wake her son, but he had no bones. That's funny. It was a common subject in my family in the area. Wow. I've had a ghost tell me to go back to sleep before I actually fell asleep. Whoa, Drew, that's freaky. I used to experience it when I was younger. I kind of miss it. Not much terrifies me, but those experiences sure did. I've never had sleep paralysis, ever. I just fall asleep and I never wake up until the morning. I'm like dead asleep. Chappie, thank you very much for that $5. Cake, thank you for the $15. Chris is on Twitch right now. Oh, cool. If you guys want to go check out the Beyond Worlds stream, Chris is playing some video games right now. He said he'd be back later when you're sleeping. I don't know what that means. Thank you for the more donations. Thank you, Chappie, and tell him I'm not interested. Transdimensional Raiders. Yeah, I think that's what it could be, Tom. All right, I'm going to take a minute or two break. Is this? I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing a donation, a direct donation. I want to make sure I say thank you to everyone who's donated. Okay, that's it for the direct donations so far. All right, cool, guys. Yeah, Champion Chappie, everyone. We all love Champion Chappie. Thank you, everyone who's donated tonight. I really appreciate it. It helps me immensely. Tom, I'm experiencing spectrophilia right now. What the heck is that? Come on, Nathan. You should set up an account where people can donate cryptocurrency. Oh, God, that's like beyond me. I don't think many people have cryptocurrency right now. I mean, I know some do. I just did a cryptocurrency spot the other day for my friend. All right. It will be right back. Stay tuned. I'm going to get some more wet water, and I'm going to run through this book and get these next stories ready. Stay tuned. All right, I'm coming back. I found some more stories. Hang on. Okay. I found some stories that I think I haven't read. But if I have, just stick around and enjoy them for a second time. I skimmed through a ton of them, and I think I haven't read these. All right. Make sure is the audio sounding all right? Okay. Oh, and I see your donation, Loic. Thank you for that $15 donation, Loic. Thank you very much. I see that direct donation you just made. You're a champion. Thank you. And I saw Brian, I saw your donation too. Thank you very much. One more beer. All right. Ready? Here we go. Nathan, I'm one of the many guys you talked to live because of your short film. I'm the skinny dude that danced. If you recall and you've got a moment, I've got a story. It might be worth the goosebumps. Ooh, Drew. Yeah, man. Drew, can you comment it in here? Because I will definitely read it. I do have Discord if people are asking for Discord, but I don't know how to log in. I have one. I set it up. We have one for Beyond Worlds too, my Twitch. Can't donate today, sadly. Finally got my 300ZX, so all my money is gone. Oh, no problem, Neat Boss. Thanks for being here, though. Thanks for hanging out. I did $5, but I'm waiting to get crushed with that hospital bill. Oh, geez. Sorry, Evie. Don't worry about it. Thank you for donating what you can when you did. Don't worry about Dorlaxon. Thanks for being here. Thank you, everyone who's watching right now. I always make the chat. There it is, live chat. Holy crap, Cake. Dude, Cake. I've donated more at once before, remember? I do remember. You've donated a bunch so far. My Lappy also made a water cooling sound, even though it had no such thing. Was ice cold in the warmest summer and was usually very quiet. Except that one time it made a bee sound. Dude, your laptop is haunted. Thank you for that 200 knock. Thank you very much. How much is that? Because that's that's like $30, right? Dude, that's huge. Wow. Thank you, Cake. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for always watching. I really appreciate it. That's super nice of you. Dang, dude. Yeah, that is a lot of knock. Holy crap. Champion Cake. Cake is champion. Everyone, thank you. So let's say thank you to Cake. He keeps the show going. All of you who donate keep the show going. All of you who show up keep the show going. It really, really helps me stay living in this house where I can then do this show. Thanks, sick baby. Thanks, everyone. All right, cool. I'm going to read these stories. Here we go. This one is called... my smoke machine here. Come on, smoke machine, you piece of junk. I got to get more juice in there. The smoke machine juice is pretty expensive. Honestly, it is. Come on. You piece of junk. I need to set the mood here. That's spooky without smoke. Ah, all right, now we're talking. This story is titled The Home of Gathered Spirits. In my opinion, all of Hawaii is pretty spooky. A lot of people think Hawaii is just a paradise, but I've always had Wait, did I read this one? Just switches. This was after my body had been removed. Okay, just gonna read it anyways. Let me know at the end if I read it or not. I can't remember. In my opinion, the Hawaii part makes me think it was. I've already read it. In my opinion, all of Hawaii is pretty spooky. A lot of people think of Hawaii as just a paradise, but I've always been surprised that the paranormal community hasn't caught up on the fact that an incredible amount of activity happens here. I think I read this. And has historically for a long time. The place where I live on the island of Oahu is called the Valley of... Yeah, I read this one last week. Dang it. That was where the guy and talked to the lady. Sorry. Why did I mark that one? Okay, this one I don't know if I read. I gotta read something, though. Burger's in here. Oh, Burger's back. Tom's back, everybody. Great. He's haunting the chat. Something spooky's going on tonight. This title is titled Bull Moose is Back from Jim Harold's Campfire Volume 1. I have had many varied paranormal experiences, but I thought this was a good one because it affects people other than myself. I was working at a small indie record company in Pittsburgh called Bogus Records back in the 1980s, and I'm a graphic designer, so I was doing little things like promotional materials and posters on a volunteer basis. Carl, who's the owner of the company, was having a summer party for his employees and talent. He is quite an individual, and he is a crazy collector, and he was kind enough to give a friend and me a tour of his house because we'd never been there before. He had a room full of arcade games. Awesome. This guy rules. The story is the best already. Like the old Pac-Man. Remember the 1980s game? Yes. I remember Pac-Man. Every living being on Earth remembers Pac-Man. It's not that old. People still play it, you know. Give me a break. All right. Back to the story. Anyway, he took us through his fantastic Beatles memorabilia, and he even had a rubber alligator in his bathtub. I tell you, this guy was crazy. And he took us to his office, and there was a whole wall full of headshots of all the people he'd worked with and managed, and so on and so forth. After the tour, we went back down and did the party thing. That night, I had this dream that I was in a local record store that was near my house. But unlike the real record store, the front area had kind of a lounge area with 2 couches and a coffee table. I'm standing in the store looking through, in those days, vinyl albums, if we all remember those. Oh my gosh, yes. This guy's acting like we're in the year 5000. This little man comes up to me and starts kind of yelling at me, very agitated, like, "Where is it? And why isn't it done?" I look at him and say, "I don't know what you're talking about." He kind of huffs to the front of the store, and I follow him, and he's kind of standing behind one of those couches and still kind of, reaming my butt out for this, whatever it was. In the dream, I just listened very politely, and in a few minutes, Carl and Phil, who also worked at the studio, they walk into the store. They're kind of standing behind the other couch nearest the door, and we exchange greetings, and the little man that I'd been talking to asks me something, so I respond to what his query was. Carl and Phil turn to me and ask, "Who are you talking to?" I just look at them as if they're crazy and, and say, I'm talking to Bull Moose. Don't you see him? They kind of look at me and laugh like I'm nuts and inform me, well, Bull Moose is dead. Just then I was realizing that, this is a special dream. Weird. This is like a smart dream. I have lucid dreams a lot, and I knew how to amp myself up, and I told myself that I had to really start remembering details on this. Phil and Carl asked me what he was saying in a smart but kind of way, and I pretty much say that Bull Moose is very agitated and he wants you to finish it. And they respond with, finish what? I really wasn't sure either, but Bull Moose keeps saying, the record, the record, the record. They look at each other, figuring I'm trying to pull a fast one on them. They ask me, okay, which songs weren't finished on that album? Bull Moose, of course, relays me the information, and in my dream, I'm thinking, in my lucid way, I have to remember the names of these songs. I have to. I relay the songs to Carl and Phil, and they look at each other shocked. They turn white, looking almost confused and freaked out. Then they walk out of the record store. This is crazy that he remembers this much detail from a dream. And that pretty much was the end of that part of the dream. The dream changes to Bull Moose sitting on the corner on a stool, singing me a sweet little lullaby, thanking me for relaying the information. Of course, the next morning I woke up and I wrote down everything I could, especially the titles of the songs, because I have a brain like a sieve, and I could only remember full title and most of one of the second ones. He's a brain like a sieve, and he can remembers that, and I don't think so. His memories are not leaking. He remembers everything. The third one I couldn't remember at all, but it was a really long dream, as you can tell. Although I knew this was an important dream, I didn't feel compelled to go calling people up about it. I just try to let the universe take its course, and when the right time presents itself, I know to do something about it. A week, maybe 2 weeks later, I was down at the recording studio, and I was working with Phil on some poster designs. He was in a hurry, and he didn't have a lot of time. He had a meeting he had to make, and in the back of my head, I'm going, damn it, I knew there was something I wanted to tell him. I just couldn't remember it at all. Wow, are you serious? This was like a crazy stream of your life, and you can't remember? I followed him up the stairs, and as soon as the sunlight hit me, for some reason, it all came back to me, and I turned to him as Phil started to head down the street, and I just said, Phil, is there... Oh, I said, Phil is there, on Carl's wall of headshots. And I drew a diagram in the air, right about in the middle. What? Is there a headshot of a little black guy with big glasses, kind of a long face, and his name is Bull something? I couldn't remember his name. And is he dead? Phil just looked at me and stopped and said, yeah, why do you ask? I said, because he wants you to know that he wants that record done. At that, Phil was like, what are you talking about? Dude, I'm getting goosebumps big time right now. So I related my dream, and he was kind of taken aback. Then he asked me if I remembered the titles of the songs that needed to be finished. I said, I can tell you 2 of them, and I told him what I remembered the titles being, and I swear that Phil turned white as a sheet right there on the street. I mean, that's crazy. This kid had a dream about someone he didn't even know that this other guy knew, and the person told him to tell that information. Why didn't Bull Moose just go to this Chris guy and to this Phil guy and tell him? I can tell you 2 of them, and I told him what I remembered the titles being, and I swear that Phil turned white as a sheet right there on the street. I mean, he was, at first, you could see that he was shaken, but then he got a little indignant, like, who told you that? As if someone had slipped me some, information. I said, Bull Moose told me. I just told you that. Phil was still kind of skeptical, and he said, well, you must have heard it from somebody. I had actually been considering that all along, but there was no connection with any of these people involved. So Phil ended up going off to his appointment, very visibly shaken, and went home. As Phil related to me later, I guess that night he went over to Carl's house and they were in the kitchen, and he told Carl all about my dream and as much as details he could remember. And of course, Carl naturally laughed and scoffed and pretty much figured that I was BSing Phil. I guess Carl was laughing at my tall tale. Just then, dishes fell off the cupboard and crashed to the floor. Whoa, man, this story is awesome. I am surprised I haven't read this one already. I'm getting crazy goosebumps. And as Phil said to me, he looked at Carl and then looked at the dishes, and Carl looked at him and looked at the dishes. They looked at each other, they looked at the dishes, and Carl went to the like, what the heck? They looked at the dishes a million times. And Carl went to the phone and said he figured he'd better do something about this. He started making arrangements to get this album started. Ever since I had that dream, I had felt this connection to Bull Moose, almost as if he were with me, kind of in me. Not that he was overshadowing me, and I'm cautious about those kinds of things, but it was like I could, every once in a while, I would just look in a mirror and say, hey, Bull Moose, what's it like to be a little green-eyed Scotch German girl? It must be a real trip for you. Is this a girl that's telling the story, I guess? And it was just one of those kinds of things that I just kept feeling. He was there, but I never had any proof of it. There's nothing he ever overtly did that made me really feel that he was with me, or it was just a feeling. Well, months later, this is the end here. It was months later, I went to a CD release party for a local band called the Spuds, a great Pittsburgh band. I hadn't talked to anybody about the status of Bull Moose's album, whether it was finished or what had been done. I just let the universe do its thing, and I was outside listening to the band at this party. Suddenly, I started crying, and I started feeling a spirit lifting out of my body, like right out of my solar plexus. Just this, it's so hard to describe, but it was like a part of me, but like a separation. And the feeling of this entity or this spirit or whatever, this thing was just full of joyousness, happiness, and gratitude. Wow, it totally made me giddy, yet I was crying. It was a crazy, powerful feeling. It was just so wonderful, and I really knew it was Bull Moose. Like, dang it, he was inside of me all this time. This is insane. It seemed as though Bull Moose was thanking me for helping him right in the middle of his release party. I wasn't yet sure why, though. He communicated he was going to rest, and at last he felt he was free to go. After composing myself, I walked over to Phil, who was standing near me, and I was still really quite overwhelmed, and I asked him, did you finish the album? And he turned to me and said, they just put the album to bed. All I could say, oh my God, so many chills. All I could say was Bull Moose says thank you. Sandy from California. That story was amazing. That was called Bull Moose is Back from Jim Harold's Campfire Volume 1. Wow. That story was awesome. I am happy that I hadn't read that one yet. It's nice to have a good new one. Okay, I made some X's on these other stories. Dude, did you guys like that one or what? That was crazy. It was a little confusing in the beginning. Back in the chat. Hello, everyone. I'm here. Hi. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Thanks again for that huge donation cake. Dude, Chappie. You said, oh my gosh. Loic, I don't know if I said thank you, Loic. I think I did. Thank you for that $15. And Brian, thank you for that $5. Everyone, Chappie, the oil tycoon is back. Thank you, Chappie. Champin' Chappie just donated $100. You said you weren't going to donate a big one. That's a naughty move, man. Champin' Chappie. Dude, you're insane. Thank you, Chappie. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. This has been pretty good streams so far. It's just kind of picking up right now. That was like the first good story. Trying to see let me see if I can go to my Streamlabs so I can tell you guys how we're doing at the end of the stream. Man, that was like my favorite story. I gotta load that one as a separate episode. I'm like so dehydrated this week. I think it's because it was so hot out when I was building that outside shower. If you guys go to the Twitch, you'll see that Chris is streaming right now. He's playing a game. Not sure what he's playing, but you can also see I earlier today streamed. I said this earlier. I want to mention it again. I made an outside shower and I streamed me building it the whole time. It kept getting interrupted, so there's like 4 parts. So you can watch like the beginning and then the last part where I'm using the shower, because it was so hot out. My phone kept getting like the shutdown. It kept shutting down from the temperature signature. Dang. So far, my direct donations tonight, I have $141 direct donations straight to my Streamlabs. That link is in the description if you're wondering. Thank you, everyone, that's 141. And we have 74 in the super chat. So that's like $220 tonight. That's pretty good. Thank you, everybody. 100 that is from Chappie. Thanks, Chappie. I mean, I think I don't know if that's updated. Dude, Cake. What are you doing? Dude, Cake is the king of the chat tonight. Dude, Cake is knocking Chappie out of the water. How much is that? 200 knocks, $25. So this is like $50. This is over 50. It's like $55. One day after school, before entering the bus home, I felt a cold chill, like something was wrong, and the greatest part of my life just ended. When I got home, my dad was in tears, and I got the news that my mom. Oh my God, Cake. Weird that you felt that. I'm so sorry. I can't say sorry enough. I am so sorry, Cake. That's horrible. Man, oh man. Thank you for sharing that. You didn't have to do that. Wow, man. Knock, knock, Nathan. Wow. Thanks, Cake. Thank you very, 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 very much. Wow. Oh, wow. That's like, I can't stop thinking about that now. It's funny how you sense that. You can like sense it. That means stuff's going on in the universe. You know, things are connected. Hang on one second. Fix something on the computer. Wow, Cake. That's big, man. That's a big donation. Was that the story? Cake, you said you wanted to tell a story. Was that it? I feel like you said something earlier and I missed it. Did I miss the story you wanted to tell? Or someone wanted to tell a story. Yeah, Chappie, I'm farting a lot tonight, huh? My farts are back. My guts are haunted once again. I haven't been farting in a long time. Whoa, Kristen C. just got your direct donation of $10. Thank you, Kristen. This fart's for you. I hope you heard that. Thank you, Kristen, very, very, very much. You guys are keeping me alive. You're keeping my rent subdued. You can't handle farts. Worth more than pesos. Drew, did I miss your story? Did you comment it in the chat already? Should I scroll up to find it? Or did you not comment yet? If you want, you can tweet me and then DM me. I can DM you and get the DMs going. Did sound like I pooped a little bit. I was 12, then I'm 29 now. Don't worry about it. I love being here so much. Well, thank you for being here. I love you being here too, Cake. I'm glad you're one of the regulars. I was going to tell you a story. Just sent a video on Twitter. Okay, I'm going to check my Twitter right now. I don't see it. Did you send it to me or Keith? I don't see it. Drew. Where is it? Drew, did you tweet me? Send me whatever you want, Chappie. I got that P.O. box in the description. If anybody wants to send me junk, you can send it to the P.O. box. It's a reply to the picture you put up. I sent it to you for sure. Okay. Well, all I see... You're not techie. Are you Coin Craze 66? Someone said LOL. Someone said that pickaxe isn't just a prop. And then people are responding to my dance video from earlier. I only have 2 responses from the picture I posted. You talking about the picture I posted of the stream? Because I do not see it. I really want to read your story, Drew. Yeah, send me whatever you want, D. Brad. Tweet me again. What's your Twitter? I can send you a DM and then you can DM it to me, but I just don't see. It's weird that I don't see the tweet. I don't understand why I'm not seeing it. Are you the Troy T? No, your name's Drew. I'm trying to figure out what your name is. Yeah, I hope I can move into my own haunted mansion. That would be awesome. That's the dream goal, is to have this show just like support me with my rent, and then I can just not worry about anything else, and I can pursue all the other things. Oh, update. I should tell you guys this now. My short film, Neutral, I have loaded it to YouTube. It's ready to go. It's there. It's a private link, and it will be live August 31st. Friday, August 31st. I can't speak. 31st. Friday, August 31st. Neutral will be on YouTube. Get ready. I'm making a trailer right now. I'm going to put the trailer up very soon so you guys can all see it and be notified and know when it's coming. Oh, I'm going to burn this light out. Oh, crap. It will also be on Amazon, but I don't really... Oh, my God. Cake, you did another one. LOX 50 knock. 500 knock is $63? Cake. And you just did 20 more? You've donated so much tonight. Holy crap, Cake. You're crazy. You're champion, Cake. Wow, you take the cake, man. It's for real. It means it. That saying is about you, is what I'm trying to say. Drew, I'm trying to find your tweet so that I can read your story. I still don't see it. I'm so confused. All right, I'm going to read another story, and then I'm going to try to find Drew's story by the end of this. Thank you, Cake. Holy freaking crap, man. Oh, Caesar. I'm glad we have the same mic arm. We're twins. All right. I'm trying to find a way. I'm so sorry. I'm low tech. I just don't understand why it didn't work. You should make a horror movie without the scene. I don't think I could make a horror movie. I don't love horror movies, so I don't think I would make a great one because my passion's not there. Yeah, man, it's unbelievable. Oh, Tom's back. Everyone, FYI. Here he is. Hello, Tom. Thank you for being here. If you guys don't know, Tom is my actual personal friend, so I can tease him and make fun of him. And Nate should do a horror movie with James Rolfe. Oh, God. Did you see James's new video today? He made an update. He's talking about making a horror movie. He's working on it right now. Yeah, also, everyone, FYI, I'm going to keep trying not to miss anything. Drew. Send me a message on Instagram, Drew. Maybe that'll work. Do you have Instagram? If you send me on Instagram, I'll see that. All right. Yeah. So. Okay. Yeah. I'll check my Instagram after this next story. We're probably gonna do Beat Tom live. If you want Nathan, everybody else, check out Crypt TV on YouTube. It's great. It's short horror films, and I've heard of this. Someone told me about this. The story itself is a ghost. All right, cool. So yes, Tom and I are gonna be doing like a 24-hour stream-a-thon on our Twitch at the end of this month. We're gonna do stream for 24 hours, doing all kinds of stuff. The conspiracy show. I'm gonna do a special ghost story thing during that 24 hours, and this is to really campaign to pump up our following on Twitch and get partnered. We're gonna try to get like little bits of donations here and there, and just really crank up our Twitch. We're trying to become verified partners. There's one step left for us to become a partner on Twitch, and then that opens up a ton of stuff for us, and we can like actually make better ad money on Twitch, and like Chris can earn money back for their cameras, and it would just be great if everyone could go and at least follow the Twitch. And it's in the description. It's called Beyond_Worlds. Beyond Worlds with an underscore in the middle. Chris is actually streaming something right now. So please go follow. Please go follow, because we're going to do a crazy 24-hour stream. I'm going to shave Tom's head in random spots all over his head. If we hit a certain amount of donations, he's not very happy about it. He doesn't really want to do it, but I think we could get the donations to make it happen. We're gonna do the conspiracy show. I'm gonna do a ghost show. We're gonna play video games for 24 hours. I'm gonna do another IRL. If you guys were there last night, I did a IRL, I guess they're calling it, stream, where it's just me messing around in the house with my friends, and we're like diving across the furniture and stuff. And we had a wrestling match with Bob and Charlene and Shepard. So we're gonna do anything and everything on the 24-hour stream. So please go follow the Beyond Worlds. It would mean a lot to us. And in the meantime, stick around. Listen to this next story that is titled The Elevator Man. Ooh. Yet again from Jim Harold's Campfire, Volume 1. This happened in about 2000 or 2001, where I work. Me and my coworker had gone to the break room, and when you leave the break room, you have to go down a long hallway to get to the elevator. As we were walking to the elevator, the doors opened. Okay, I think I might have read this one, but I'm going to keep reading it. As we were walking to the elevator, the doors opened, and we saw a man in a gray suit with sandy blonde hair walking onto the elevator. One thing that puzzled me was that when you go through elevator doors, typically the sensor causes the doors to open when someone is going through. Yes, I read this one. In this case, they just kept closing. We walked up just a couple seconds later and hit the button thinking we'd have to wait for another elevator. Well, lo and behold, the same elevator opened up quickly. We both walked into the elevator, which was empty, and the door closed. We both looked at each other quizzically. My coworker asked, "Didn't a man just walk in here?" And I said, I was thinking the same thing. I like stories like this when something happens to the same two people. They both see it. That means it's not a weird imagination thing. It's not light. It's just you saw a ghost. That's how I know ghosts are real. Ghosts are freaking real. Oh. I thought I saw a dark spot. It was my shadow. Okay. All right. Anyways, back to the story. We both looked at each other quizzically. My coworker said, I was thinking the same thing. Needless to say, as soon as we got to our floor and the doors opened, we got out quickly. I didn't know of a lot of activity in the building, but in our suite, we've had other coworkers say that when no one was in the office, you could hear somebody typing, or they saw something on their screen that looked like someone walking behind them. Little things of that nature. Velma from Texas. That is called The Elevator Man. All right, and I think this next story, I don't think I read this one. it's getting hard now to find stories that I didn't read. I'm like making marks on all of them now. So if I read it, please just stick around. Hopefully some new people are in here and you guys are hearing these for the first time. This one is called, I think I probably read this one, but I'm just going to read it anyways. It's called, they're only like 2 pages. Grandma's Got More Company. My grandmother's house has been in our family for many years, dating back to the 1920s. First, my mother's family owned it, and then they ended up selling it to the family that would be her cousin's family eventually. So it all kind of stayed in the family. Yeah, I think I read this. My grandmother, my dad's mother, would always experience different paranormal activity in the house. She would be downstairs in the living room and hear someone walking across a large room above her, and it would sound like a man who has a cane. Yeah, I definitely read this. She talked to my mother's family, and they said, oh, yes, that was Uncle Harry. He died in that room, and he did have a cane. They speculated that perhaps that was Uncle Harry who had come back to walk around and look out the window and so forth. My grandmother would often see her brother sitting in the kitchen chair, and the only thing was that her brother had died. Oh. About 20 years prior. She would turn and feel, I just changed words. I see a word and I say something else. What's going on with my brain? Brain is haunted. She would turn and feel someone in the room with her, and there he'd be. She also experienced this in her car when she was driving. Wow. My grandmother was not even an eccentric woman, let alone crazy. She was very level-headed kind of person, and she just seemed to think that for some reason or another, she was very open to those who had gone before coming back and visiting her. Her daughter, my aunt, also saw a figure standing in the kitchen. We were all there for an evening, I remember, when I was 7 or 8 years old, for a family dinner. My aunt said, look over there in the corner. There's a woman standing there with a veil. That sounds horrifying. What? A veil? That's like this. Veils are so scary. I don't know why veils are used to on wedding dresses and they're supposed to look nice. They're horrifying. Wedding dresses are scary to me too. Any kind of dress, honestly. No one could see it but my aunt, and she's not a very eccentric person either. Then we spoke to my mother's family later about that, and I guess the woman my aunt described was Uncle Harry's wife, who had passed away in the house as well. My grandmother was never frightened. In fact, she was very disappointed after talking to a person who was a very devout Catholic. And, we're a family of faith too, but this person seemed to say, you really want to stop this. Person seemed to say, what? I can't read that. And, we're a family of faith too, but this person seemed to say, you really want to stop this. Why don't you sprinkle some holy water in the house? Yeah, I remember this. And my grandmother did, and she never had another experience after that. She was very disappointed. The holy water was kind of a spur of the moment thing with peer pressure and what have you, but she said the phenomenon never really scared her, and she liked seeing people. I could never understand why, if these were genuinely kind spirits and indeed the relatives of people whom she loved, why they were affected by holy water. Yeah, that's weird. That didn't really make any sense to me. If they were really just angels or what have you, who had gone and just wanted to come back and say hi, why would they be afraid of holy water? Yeah. And why would that have stopped it? Maybe, I'm guessing, because the act of doing that is to stop it, and the ghosts are seeing that you're wanting it to stop, so they stop. They don't want to freak you out. So he's kind of an awkward situation with a ghost. So it's like, oh, you don't want me around? Okay, I'll just leave. But then you're like, no, come back. Where are you? Oh, you're already gone. Dang it. That's kind of a weird. It's like a Seinfeld situation with ghosts. My grandmother has passed on, and we haven't seen her. One time, right after my other grandmother died, we messed around with a Ouija board. My brother was about 12 and I was 14, and we played with it in her room. It really moved, and we just freaked out so badly. I'm definitely a person who is fast, but I've never run so fast in my life. We ran out to the backyard, and my brother climbed up on the fence between our backyard and the school. We never messed with that stuff again because it's just not right. Ingrid in Pennsylvania. I read that one. That one's pretty cool. It's called Grandma's Got More Company. Now this next one, I honestly don't remember if I read this next one. It's called One Messed Up House. Does anybody remember if I read this one or not? Here I am in the chat. Hello, everyone. Shovel handle swinging? What? Charisma, what are you talking about? Henrik, are you asking what my movie's about? I play a bounty hunter and I'm bringing this girl to jail. Make sure I didn't miss a donation. Oh my gosh. What the heck is that? I just heard that noise from the mic arm moving, and then I look over and I see a woman's face that I've never seen before right next to me. And I was like, am I seeing this? Am I seeing this? Who is this? What is this person? Let me show you what it is. That scared the crap out of me. It's the box. The microphone box. This stupid lady is haunting me. Ooh. Get out of here. I need to stretch for a minute, and then I will get back to the stories. Oh. It feels good over here. The air conditioning is coming down. You probably can't hear me unless I'm over there near the microphone. Shut up. Lord Spylingster, thank you. Spook meter just went up. Yeah, it went up big time. I don't know why I do this to myself. Thank you, Lord Spingster. Thank you very, very, very much. Yeah, Sib, that scared me too. Did that scare anyone else? LOL. Okay, well, okay, I'm seeing all the comments now. Dude, what was that? Dude, seriously. That's like the second scariest thing that happened compared to the shovels, though. You guys remember the shovels from like the first stream, the first or second stream? Remember when the shovels fell over? Holy crap, man. Oh my god, that was so scary. Gonna have to go to the bathroom again after that. Yeah, seriously. Is anybody watching this? I really like when people watch this on their TV. So if you are watching our TV, thank you. Please get... Excuse me, my guts are haunted. I'm so sorry. Please watch this on your TV and enjoy yourselves and get comfortable. Here come through like it's in my house too and scare the crap out of me. Great. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for laughing at me, Chappie. Got about 1,500 physical copies of Justin that have super awesome games like What's Up It Scared Me. Hello, Neat Boss. Especially when it fell over right after you're doing it. Yeah, seriously. Remember? That was crazy. They are messing with me, Brad. All right. Yeah, Loic, remember when I'd use the shirt mics? They would just die. And then the tons of static would happen. All right. I'm going to Instagram to see if I got Drew's story. I don't see a message from you, Drew. Did you message me? I don't see. I think Drew is a ghost. I'm not joking right now. Drew, where are you? Are you in here? Drew Millard. Okay, Nathan, I just sent the message. On Instagram? Because I feel like you're a ghost and you're holding your phone, but nothing's happening because you're a ghost. So when you're typing, you're not hitting buttons. But you're like, what's happening? I don't think you realize you're a ghost. On Instagram or on Twitter? we'll find out in a second, I guess. I don't see it. It's not on Instagram. And it's not on Twitter. Drew, what is happening? Where is this message? I need to start a channel on underrated games because PlayStation got so many. It's unrealistic. On Instagram, I don't see it. It's not there. I did not get a message. Are you sure you're messaging Nathan Barnatt? Barnatt? I'm so confused. I'm trying so hard. Can you just comment right here? Can you comment in the chat? Is it too long for a comment? Hello. Thank you, Chelseanator. Thank you very, 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 very much. I love you. I don't think I ever missed any of your streams. I love being here. Well, thanks, Frank. Just for that, you're a moderator. I don't know how many moderators I have, but you're all a strong force now. No one can mess with you. When you get spooked, Nathan, I feel like we all get goosebumps too. All right, cool. Yeah, do it here. I'm going to read another story, and then I'll scroll back and I'll find it. Everyone try not to read Drew's story until I read it, so it's spooky and special for all of us. Well, thanks, hand in a bag. That's how it's said. I can read. That's a good name. Thanks, hand in a bag. Thank you for liking my junk. I haven't missed any stream either. Well, thanks, Neat Boss. Neat Boss, I do see you around a lot too. So here you go. Yes, Brad, I do need ghost stories sent to me. I like true stories, real stories that have happened to you. Spooky things. Doesn't have to be ghost stories, just kind of weird stuff, spooky stuff. I love reading everyone's stories. I read a bunch in the last few streams, Nate. I was the ultimate warrior. Hey, Nerd Surge, my friend. From Too Many Games, you're a moderator. I made 3 new moderators. I'm not going to make any more moderators tonight because I just did 3 new ones. Everyone's going to be a moderator at some point. You're my friend. Thank you very much. You're joining the ranks, Neat Boss. You joined the ranks of Frank and Civ, Chappie, Loic, Riccavali, Evie. All the usuals, Dorlaxin, Pixels. Let's keep this chat safe. Yeah, I'm gonna do more. I'm doing a tour soon. I'm gonna do the first show in LA like next month. It's Nathan. I'm not sure the title yet. I'm still working on it, but it's Nathan's Dance Party, which is basically gonna be a dance party where I just hang out and dance with everyone. I'm gonna try to debut a new dance video, and it's gonna be a playlist of all my favorite songs that you've seen me in music videos, and songs that I just like. And it's gonna be real simple, easy, and fun. And I've got some new shirts that are gonna be for sale at it, but it's gonna be just pure raw fun. Yes, Brad, I do this every Wednesday, a real story, but I have to get written down. Maybe ready next stream. Yeah, that's cool for me. I do it every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock LA time, so like 9 o'clock East Coast time. Not sure where everyone else in the world what time it is, but comment on. I see all my comments on all my YouTube videos. If you comment, I pin a comment at the end of each of these streams. The past like 6 episodes. If you go to like any of the past episodes of this, the Grave Stories episodes, look at the comments, the top comment, respond to that, and I will see it very easily. Respond with your story to those, and I'll find it. Thanks, Brad. All right. Oh, Drew. Here's Drew's story. We got it. When I was around 8 years old, I've never had a ghost experience up until that day. I normally always had to... Wait, did I already miss it? And then... Is that the end of it, or is that the beginning of it? I have a hubby... but DM me later. Chelseanator. What? Thanks for the $2. Wait, Drew. Okay. When I was around 8 years old, I'd never had a ghost story experience. a ghost experience up until that day. I normally always had a hard time falling asleep. It would take me roughly 15 minutes every night to pass out. After 5 minutes of closing my eyes, I decided to open them. There was nothing to look at. My room was pitch black, but what I saw was a very stereotypical ghost form. Whoa. Let's see where this goes. And when I registered in my mind that something was there, it shot into my face and yelled angrily and loud, "Go back to sleep." What? That's crazy. So I slammed my pillow in my face and for another 5 minutes shut my eyes as tightly as possible. This is crazy, Drew. Is that the end of it? There's that howling again. There it is. You hear it? It's a weird howling. So I woke up with the pillow on my face still. Wow, Drew. Dude, that's crazy. That's super scary. That would freak me out. Something jumped in my face. Go back to sleep. Holy crap, man. That's like sleep paralysis on drugs. You were rolling down the stairs the first time I saw you at E3. I thought you had a seizure still. Someone said it was a prank. Well, that's funny. I'm glad you saw that. Brad says, I met you at San Diego Comic-Con a few years ago. Obviously, that makes me qualified to be a mod. It does, Brad. I will mod you in the future, I promise. I'm going to hold off on the mods for tonight. I don't want to get too crazy with them. Nothing was around, so I decided to disappear as well. And bolted out of my door, slammed down the hallway lights, never looked back, and never turned those lights off. Ghosts don't like lights. I was not frozen. The whole time I felt I was awake, and I have had sleep paralysis after, but that felt nothing like it. Wow. Well, oh yeah? Well, the devil pinched my wiener real hard in my sleep just the other day. Scary. Woke up and my cat jumped on me. Ew. Charisma, that sounds horrible. Wow, Drew. That's a good story. Thanks for telling me, Drew. I'm glad we finally got to hear it. Wow. All right. I'm getting back to the stories. Oh, freaking Cake. You will never come visit Norway. Will you ever come visit Norway? Holy crap. Two at the same time. Cake just gave another 20 knock. Dang, dude. Thank you. And Loic just donated $10 directly to me through my Streamlabs. Thanks, Loic. I see you. Oh, freaking champion Loic, too. Oh, man. Loic, you party hard. Thanks, Loic. Loic's always donating so much. Yeah, thanks for that story, Drew. You guys can make fun of me, but Nathan understands. Thanks for reading my story, man. You're the best. You're the best. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing the story. I'm very happy I got to hear it. I love ghost stories, so I'm happy you guys tell me. Wow. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for all the donations. Loic, you're champion. Cake, you're the champion. Cake is king champer of the stream tonight. He has donated so much. You don't have to donate that much, but I obviously beyond appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is Tom still here? Burger, my friend, is he still here? All right. Here I go. How many people are watching this right now? 88, pretty good. All right. This next story from Jim Harold's Campfire, Volume 1, is titled One Messed Up House. Whoa. I moved into this house when I was about 7. It was roughly 1983-84. We lived there for about 7 years, and we all had all kinds of odd happenings. It was a grand house built in the 19. Oh my God. I just felt something and heard something move below me, and there's nothing below me. There's cement here, then dirt. Nothing below it. Did you hear that? It went whoom. What? The walls are creaking now. That weird howling. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop the story. There's that weird howling. You hear that? It's going. I never hear that during any other night when I'm outside during the day. You hear dogs barking, but it's this freaking smoke machine. I'm like really on edge right now. I don't like. And last time I heard this howling, it was right out on the other side of the wall, like right in front of the house. And I ran out there, and it was gone. It stopped. I only hear. It's a very specific, like, sad, scary howling. I only hear it when I do these stories. I don't understand. I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel like it's a portal is opened and a devil hound is like coming through. All right, here we go. One messed up house from Jim Harold's Campfire Volume 1. I'm going to start over. I moved into this house when I was about 7. It was roughly 1983 to 84. We lived there for about 7 years, and we had all kinds of odd happenings. It was a grand house built in the 1940 to 1950 time range. At the time, it was a very upscale neighborhood. Not so much now, but then it was. The first thing that happened had to do with the doorbell. There were different chimes for different doors. The front door had a very elaborate chime. There were different chimes, especially in the evening, when the chimes would just ring and ring and ring, and we'd have to go outside and literally disconnect the wires in order to stop them. You could just look at the door itself or the button and see it had been physically jammed in, and you'd have to dislodge it. I think I read this one, but this is pretty good. The way that neighborhood was set up, we did have neighbors, but there was a good distance in between each of you. So it wasn't as though someone could push it, then step behind a bush or something. It was obviously happening on its own. In addition to the doorbell, probably the next thing that I can really remember is a phenomenon on the stairs. It was an older home, and the stairs were by the front door, right in the foyer, and they take you upstairs to the children's bedrooms. The stairs were older, so of course when you stepped on them, they would creak. What would happen was, say you were on the stairs and you walked up 5 or 6 of them. Then at the bottom of the stairs, you could feel the vibration of the stairs themselves, and you could hear a sound as if someone had just started walking up them behind you. Don't like that. Oh my gosh. You would get the feeling as if you could turn around and there would be someone there. It would. God, smoke machine. I was young while in the house, and I became very angry when this would happen. I would turn around and swat the air behind me as if to shoo it away. Sometimes it would kind of ease up, and sometimes it wouldn't, but it made me feel better. And then there was the couch. We sold that couch last year, actually, but we'd had it all these years. The couch was in the formal living room, which was right off the foyer to the left when you came in. I remember this. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm reading some stories over again. That was the room we used for Christmas, and that was pretty much it. That was where the expensive furniture and antiques were. If my mom caught you in that room, you were in big trouble. Nobody went in that room. I think I probably sat on that couch maybe 14 times in my life. We had a portrait of my great-great-great-grandfather, who was a captain in the Civil War, and it was centered above the couch. Every night there would be a shadow on the couch. It sat in the center of this couch, and it had a human shape. It sat there every single night for 7 years. Holy crap. And it literally wore a place into the couch. What? I lost my spot. There was a perfect half moon shaped indented in this couch, as if someone had been sitting there night after night watching television. My mother would get on topics of spooky things with people and would show them the couch. It was bizarre. Another thing that happened in the house concerned the bed in my room. I am a very, very, very light sleeper, which really pays off when you have a toddler. You don't sleep through anything. I think I was probably 9 or 10 at the time, and I had twin beds in my room at the very top of the stairs. The stairs go up from the foyer, and they turn to the left at the landing and go up, and my room was at the very top of that. One night I was sleeping with my nightlight on and my door open as always, and I felt my bed raise up as if someone was sitting on my bed, like when your mom comes in to check on you. She checks on you and she may rub your forehead, and then when she stands up, the bed lifts. So I rolled over and said, "Mama," and there was nobody there. I was not a girly girl. I was very much a tomboy, but my mother had very girly girl comforters, which were very fluffy and lacy and flowery. On this comforter there was an imprint, a depression where someone had sat. I was very certain that she had been in there, so I sat up and watched the stairs to see if maybe she had gone around the corner to my restroom or to my brother's room. And I sat there for probably 15 minutes just watching, and of course, she never did show up. I realized that she was never there, but somebody had come into my room. Holy crap. I believe a single family owned the home before us. I think it was a one owner home, but I can't swear to that. I heard that the family before us had a mother who was an alcoholic, and she was a very angry alcoholic when she drank. So I thought maybe that was, as I look at it now, a motherly thing to do, to sit down on the bed and check on me. All right, we got one more page. Sorry if you guys have heard this one already. I gotta find one that I definitely haven't read and end on that. I think the most startling thing that happened that got everybody's attention was that we had a couple of maids at one time who would, this one, I remember the ending of this. This is cool. Got my attention was a couple of maids at one time who would come in during the day while my parents were working and we were at school. We would come home and they'd watch after us for a couple hours until my parents came home. It was two sisters. At one point, it had just been one of the sisters, but she was uncomfortable working there by herself for whatever reason, so her sister came and worked with her. One day, we came home from school and we found them standing in the front yard looking at the house. That was odd. They explained that they had been in the kitchen and they were washing the dishes or something and talking when they heard the front door open. As I said, the stairs going up to our bedrooms are at the front door, and they heard footsteps go up the stairs, and then they heard running across the hallways upstairs. They heard all three of the doors slam. There's 3 kids' rooms. The sisters had gone to the foot of the stairs and said, "Children, come down and give us some sugar. How was your day?" Of course, we never came down, and they realized it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which was a couple of hours too early for us to be home from school. They went outside, and they did not go back in the house, as they would not work in the house anymore from that point on, unless the family was there. The only time they ever came to do any work was for my parents, as if my parents had a party or something, and they would come over to help out. One more thing about the house. I found out that the original contractor of the house, I don't know his name, and this could be hearsay. It's a small town, but the original contractor of that house, they say, hanged himself. Oh my God! In the house while it was being built. I don't know whether that's true. I can't swear to it, but there you go. That's very, very sad and depressing. I feel bad, but that's pretty scary. The house changes hands about every 5 to 7 years or so. I can't tell you for sure why it changes hands so many times, but I know for us, I think it was just time. When my husband and I married, the house was for sale. We've been married for a while. We've been married now for a little over 5 years, and it's up for sale again. It's just like clockwork, and at a price that's ridiculously low. It just makes you think. Wow. That's from Beth in North Carolina. That story is called One Messed Up House. I did read that. I skimmed through these to see what ones I might not have read. I really want to find one that I haven't read. I think I read every story in this book. Bed Shaker. This is 1 page. Maybe I didn't read this. This title does not seem familiar. It's literally half a page. I'll read these two. I'm going to read these two short ones, and I think I'm going to wrap it up because I've read like every story. I got to get another book. That'll be about a 3-hour stream. So, whoa, thank you, David. Thank you very, very much, David Carmona. I really appreciate you doing that donation. I love you. Thank you. Austin Henson, $5 freaking. I'm sinking and linking. Would you do an all UFO or extraterrestrial story night? I sure would. I really would, Austin. That would be awesome. I love alien stuff. I read a bunch of stories about the missing time and the missing hour. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. Thank you for that donation, by the way. It's amazing of you. Oh, look who it is. Chappie, Nathan, you don't like my puppy? What are you talking about? Is that the picture, your avatar? Is that what you're saying? That avatar is your puppy? Thank you. I like your $5 Zinkin and Lincoln donation, Chappie. Of course. Thank you very much. You're the king of the chat, as usual. Although Cake is the king tonight. Cake, I never answered you. Yes, I would love to come to Norway. 100%. I really want to go to Finland, Norway, and Sweden. I want to go to all three of those cool countries. Thank you again for that donation. The growling doggy. That image is very scary. I do not like your picture. Whoa, David. Dang, dude, you already gave $1. Holy crap. Thank you again. Now that's $11. Thanks, dude. Thank you so much. I had no idea you have been streaming. Bell clicked. Well, thanks, Jason. Thank you very much. Yeah, if you guys want to do that bell thing, I don't think a lot of people like doing that, but everyone on YouTube says click the bell, click the bell. So I guess I'll say click the bell, but honestly, I don't care if you don't because I would not want to get that many notifications. Holy crap, Lord Slinkster, how about some creepypastas? I'm not so into creepypasta because it's just fiction. I like reading stories that have happened to people. It's like scarier knowing someone lived through this and it's a first-hand account. Those freak me out. I think we should still dance in La Habra like we talked about. Drew, we should. Was it you that I talked to about dancing in a video with me, Drew, when we Skyped after you donated to the neutral? That was you, right? I'm the kid who asked you if you could be my dad on a stream, and you said yes. Well, hello, Sleepy Dragon 7, my son or my daughter, whichever you are. Thank you for being here. Drew, I would love to dance. Okay, cool. Yes. You should come to my dance show then. I'm going to do a dance party show. You should come and we can dance there. Get a perfect spot to do it. Bigfoot taking a dump on my cousin's porch. I feel like I've heard that somewhere. That's a thing. Who said that before? Or maybe you just made that up and it just sounds familiar. That's pretty funny, though. Thanks for all these donations, guys. This is huge. Thank you very much for doing that. Donations are coming in pretty strong right now. Drew, I don't have the dates yet, but it's going to be in September. I think at the end of September is the first show. I'm going to check my Streamlabs, see if it's updating. So far, my Streamlabs says I think it's off. It doesn't update fully. But right now, the direct donations to my Streamlabs, which you can find the link for in my description, this goes directly to my PayPal, so that's handy. $161. That's $161 tonight directly to me, and I think that's off. I think there's been a little bit more because it doesn't update instantly. And then $74 in the super chat. That's definitely low. I think it's at least 100 now because it was 74 a while ago. So let's say I made $261. 161 plus 74. So far I've made 161. So it's 100. I think I've made about $260, if not a little more. Maybe it's getting close to 300. That's pretty good. That's awesome. Thanks, guys. Thank you for helping me, and thank you for funding this and supporting this. I couldn't do it without you. You guys definitely pay for this show tenfold. Thank you very much for being here. Saw you at UCB East in New York many, many years ago. Whoa, or many years ago. Doing Ray Amsley was a great moment in my life. Oh, thanks, Jason. I'm glad you were there. That's cool. That was during. It was guessing that was during. I did my Keith Apicary tour, and then I did a sideshow. Funny, it's a sideshow, but it was like a show off the tour at the UCB as Ray. I'm glad you were there. I should buy myself a pizza, but I gotta save my money. I'm gonna eat some soup when I finish this. I'm trying to be thrifty. Because I'm trying to start saving my money for the second chapter of my movie, Neutral Chapter 2. So I'm really trying to save my money, and this is actually helping me do that. But I mean, honestly, it all goes to my friend. So whatever I make extra, I try to like save for Neutral, but I'm not gonna be able to pay for that on my own. Let's be honest. I need to try to get a studio to invest in it. That's a whole other story. But Neutral Chapter 1, the first short film that you guys all helped get made last year, is going on my YouTube. I said it earlier. If you're new to the stream, you just got here recently, August 31st, Neutral will be on YouTube and Amazon, but YouTube will be easier to watch. So don't skip the commercials. Don't skip the ads because they help me out. So get ready. Neutral's coming. I'm so thirsty. All right. Back to the stories. I'm going to do these last two stories and I'm going to wrap it up. Get into here. Oh, Eve. Evie, is that you? I see a $5 donation to my Streamlabs. Thank you. Super nice of you. I didn't know if you were still here, Evie. Are you just listening, not watching? You're just listening to it, I think is what you had said. We'll turn off ad block just for you. Well, thank you, Brad. I really appreciate it. Do it for just that one, just for Neutral, then turn it back on after. Oh, Drew, there's 3 chapters to Neutral. I have finished and written chapter 2, and I have chapter 3 outlined, but I haven't finished writing it. Together, all 3 parts will make a feature film. So, I don't want to say too much because you haven't seen the first chapter yet, but get ready. There's 3 parts. And it will all make a feature. Sleepy Dragon, you are my son. Thank you for being my son. Hey, have you heard of Steve Curson? His name is Nick Kerr, and he streamed too. Did you say this earlier, Elmer? I have not. You need to change my PayPal name so my screen name comes up instead of my real name next time. Neat boss. I'm guessing you are Brian? Or Retro, or Tyler, or Richard, or you're not Loic. What did you say, bro? My long lost dad. When I'm off to bed. See you, Joseph. Thanks for hanging out. I only got 2 more stories, so see you, Nerd Surge. Thanks for being here. Everyone should check out Nerd Surge. They're a cool band. Haven't donated tonight, but I was Josh O. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. I'll try to remember that. Can you do Keith's voice and talk about Sonic? Sleepy, not right now. This is a spooky podcast show. It's not. Keith is not here. Thanks, Penguin. Thanks for watching. I think the short films count as chapters, right? Yeah, in my opinion. So there'll be 3 short films, and then together they will make a feature. It'll be a short feature, but it'll be like an hour and 20, maybe, about. All right, going back to the book. This next story, titled... You dumb piece of junk. Yeah. There we go. It's because it's getting low on juice. I gotta buy more smoke juice. It's not gonna be spooky without the smoke juice. The fog juice. Ooh, losing my light. Everything's haunted. My light is haunted. This next story is titled Bed Shaker from Jim Harold's Campfire. Volume 1. I need to get the other volumes. I've read them all. I guess I was around the age of 14 when this happened. I've been kind of admiring a set of knives that I'd acquired over the years. It had gotten late and everyone had gone to bed. Getting ready to go to sleep, I hear something in the kitchen, so I'm thinking, okay, I'll be the man of the house and go check everything out. The doors are locked and everything seems to be okay, so I lie back down in bed. The lights are out. Within a few minutes, for some reason or another, I look up towards the door into my bedroom and see what looks like a figure, a silhouette of a man, almost as if he's peeking into the room. Whoa, I don't like this. I don't like it. This one's going to be scary. I can see his head and his shoulders, and me being young, I'm thinking, yeah, you come in here? Yeah, you come in here. And as soon as I say it, this thing moves from the doorway to the end of my bed, the foot of my bed, and it's not as if you see him taking steps. It's almost as if it floats to the end of the bed. Being 14 or 15 years old, the first thing I do is bury my head in the covers and yell, ah! So after I get my head up from the covers, I wonder what's going to happen. Then it feels like this thing, whatever it is, shakes the end of my bed. Oh my God, I would have had a heart attack. Next thing I do is I start a hollering for my mom. She's in the next room and has her door shut. She says it'll be just a minute. Well, I can't wait a minute. I jump up and run in there to tell her everything. She says it's just a spring in the bed, trying to ease my worries. So I go back to the bedroom and I sit down on my bed, the lights on, of course, thinking about what just happened. And the same thing happens again. Shut up. I never heard anything like you would with a bad spring. The bed actually shakes. That is a weird sentence. I never heard anything like you would with a bad spring. The bed actually shakes. There's a typo in there somewhere. I don't know if it was the same one, but I've seen this figure in the house before, and it would always be in the middle of the night. You'd see this figure, it would come into the room. It had never shaken the bed or had any kind of contact with me that I can remember. Dang, Nick in Georgia. The bed, it's called Bed Shaker. That's a good one. That was freaky. Holy crap. Dude, imagine that. You're like, hiding your face, and then the bed starts shaking. I would think someone was pranking me. Dang. All right. I think this is going to be the last one. I joined YouTube before you were alive. Are you 9 or 10? Sleepy Dragon? I joined YouTube in 2006. Were you born later in 2006 or 2007? So you're like 10 or 11? I haven't had anything paranormal to speak of, but I do remember a very vivid dream I had before, and I was incredibly fatigued, mentally and physically. Afterward, if you're interested in hearing it. Byron, yes, please comment on one of the past streams. I have pinned comments to the top that has like the time code where all the stories are. Go to a past stream and comment on my top comment, and I will see it. Thank you. I would love to hear your stories. If anyone has stories, please, please, please comment them. Type them out as comments on the past episodes or this episode when this is finished and it's a video and it's not a live stream. When it's logged on my page, channel, please comment all your stories because I will read them next week. I read everyone's stories if I can. I have some scary camping stories. Mr. Wolfie, I would love to hear them. Hey, NES Act, what's up? My dad had a creepy experience as a kid. At some point, I will send it to you via Twitter. Thank you. Yeah, you guys can tweet me, and then I can send you a DM if you want to start DMing me, whatever you want. Nathan did make a scary video. It's called Dead Man's Bones. Oh, yeah. Watch my Dead Man's Bones dance video. It's to Ryan Gosling's band. That band is called Dead Man's Bones. And here are the crickets for the first time tonight. The crickets finally showed up. Charlene's in that video with me. All right. The final story of the night. I'm almost positive I haven't read this one. This story is titled Smoke. Like we have here. Haunting Our Lair. From Jim Harold's Campfire, Volume 1. We live in a family home that's been in my husband's family since 1920. It was built by his immigrant grandparents, and he's lived in it his whole life. I wouldn't necessarily say it's haunted, but I think that if you're a believer, maybe some of my experiences I've had, I'd say it was more spirits or family spirits visiting. But maybe a skeptic would just write it off as something else. I would never consider it a haunting. To me, that's totally different. The most recent visit has been in the last 2.5 years. My husband's mother passed away, but at the time she died, she wasn't living in the home, and she hadn't lived in the home for 4 years. Nobody smokes in the house and hasn't since she lived here. Well, probably a couple of weeks after she passed away, I was outside watering the lawn, and our window was open. All of a sudden, I got this smell of cigarette smoke, just like how it would smell when she lived in the house. I thought, okay, that's truly weird. I went in, and the whole kitchen and breakfast nook area smelled as if someone was in there and had just smoked. It wasn't smoky or anything. It just had this reminiscent kind of smell, and I thought it was odd. I went back outside and told my husband, it smells like cigarette smoke in there, and it's kind of weird. He's a skeptic, and he's basically like, whatever. When I went back in there 10 minutes later, it didn't have that smell at all. For the next year or two, that kind of stuff would happen occasionally. I do think I'm more sensitive to smell. That's been my experience, and not just in this house, but other places. I assume the smell might be her. And so it got to the point where I finally said, "Hi, I know you're here and thanks for visiting. We're doing great, but as long as you just don't show yourself, that would be great." I kind of felt silly saying it, but I do not want to see a ghost. Oh, come on, lady. You're getting ripped off here. You got to see this thing. I don't mind hearing. I don't mind maybe hearing something or maybe catching a whiff of a scent. But other than that, so I've heard footsteps, stuff like that, but nothing that I would be really spooked about. My husband at first, his attitude was, "You're crazy. You always believe in this kind of stuff." Yet he actually smelled it one time, and he finally acknowledged that he knows what I am talking about. He thinks maybe it's something with the weather and it's coming out of the walls, so he is still a little bit skeptical. I don't buy that. It's not as fun. But he did smell it. His father actually passed away in the house in the late 90s, and at one point I told him I had heard him coughing down in the bedroom when I would be upstairs. His parents' bedroom was at the foot of the stairs, and he kind of blew me off about that. Not long after, he told me that he had heard it too, but just didn't want to say anything, so I didn't feel that crazy after he admitted it. But it's just been very light stuff, nothing real heavy, but it's here. Melissa in California. That story is called Smoke, from Jim Harold's Campfire. And I think I've read literally every other story. That one about bull moose earlier was really good. I'm glad that I found that one. I hadn't read that one. I'll probably load that as its own thing. Nathan's streams are always choice. Well, thanks, Evie. So glad I got to join on this. Thanks, Drew. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you got to be here too. Thank you, everyone, as usual. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I was kind of running low on stories because I've maxed out these books. And thank you, Affin, if you're still in here. Thanks again. Affin sent me this book. He mailed it to the P.O. Box. If you guys want to mail me anything, I have a P.O. Box. It's in the description of the stream and all the ghost story streams. It's in the descriptions of all the videos. You can send me books. I really like books about true stories, things that have happened to people and them like telling their stories. And I like to read those stories. I wish I could read another one from this new book, but they're just very informational about like dates of the houses and what happened there. It's not necessarily ghost stories. It's just like information on like who died there and when. It's a cool book, and I really, really, really appreciate you sending it to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sending me this, Affin. I really appreciate it. And I'm not sure, I didn't figure out yet if it's someone in here. If someone's in here sent me this book, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, I'm gonna read these. These are fictional stories that people have written or someone wrote. There's 3 books in here. I'll probably read those for like a special thing where I'll read some fiction stories. But I really like true stories. That's what gets me excited and freaked out. But thank you to whoever sent this to me. I hope you're in here and you're hearing this. I'll say it next week too. Thank you. Someone ordered on Amazon sent it to me. You guys are the best. Thanks for sending me these. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are even here and you're interested and you like this, and you make me feel like there's a point for me being here. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thank you for all the donations. It blows me away every time. I can't believe how much support you guys give me. Hello, Amish. Glad you were still on. I'm just ending now. Slash. I'm so sorry. I just did the last story. Some of the stories in them are based on true stories, but not many. Oh, wait, so, okay, that's cool. I gotta find out what ones. Wolfie, you have those books too? Just reading the comments. Well, thanks, Cake. Thank you for donating. You don't have to donate anymore. Like, you gave so much. You can take a huge break from donating. You don't have to donate ever again, honestly. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you for watching, and thank you for donating so much. I don't want you to donate if you guys can't afford it. That's like, I don't want you to like screw things up for yourselves. So thank you. Thank you for even being here. Thank you for a little donations I have gone. Thanks, Slash. Jeez, dude. Man, I'm assuming you're a guy. I don't know why I do that, because I feel like lots of guys like my junk video game nerds. But I know there's a ton of girls in here. So thank you, everyone who's in here. And thank you for that donation. That's amazing of you. All right. I guess I'll wrap it up. Thanks again, guys. Evie, you're the queen of this chat. The number one girl in here. I guess it's because I don't know who and what everyone is. But the people I get to know, like Evie. Who else is a girl in here? Charisma, are you a girl? Marisuki, are you a girl? Zach, I guess, is a guy. Drew, Henrik. Follow Hollow, are you a girl? NES, are you a girl? I think you're a guy. And the way some people talk, I just assume they're guys. Wolfie, I gotta read some of these, and I'll figure out what ones I should read on the stream. Sorry, Slash. Sorry that I'm entering it. Good stories tonight, and watching you get so spooked, and it was funny, especially when that noise happened and you saw that lady in the box and freaked out. And there are the crickets. That's when it's time to end, because that means it's truly PM time and it's scary time. I am a human girl. Follow. Okay, cool. You're a girl. Cool. I like to kind of just know who everybody is. Yeah, you're Nathan's Nerds. Thanks for being here, Lord. Neat Boss, you are a mystery. Let's leave it there. I'll try to get my real life ghost story written down and send it to you before the next stream. Thanks. Yeah, next Wednesday will be the next Wednesday at 6 will be the next stream. I want to try to do one this weekend, but it's probably gonna be hard. It's like so much crap goes on during the week. Like, I'm actually lucky that I'm able to do this every Wednesday night. Kristen, hey, what's up, Kristen? I've seen you before. Thanks for being here. Kristen, you donated tonight, I think, right? Yeah, Kristen gave $10 tonight directly to my Streamlabs. Thank you for doing that, Kristen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, nice. Evie won't be at work. Very cool. Yeah, every Wednesday at 6 o'clock California time, 9 o'clock East Coast time, I do this for at least like 3 hours. I guess it's about 3 hours now. I like to go for like 5 if I can, if I get a lot of stories, but I'm out of stories now. So this week's a little short. But next week I'll be back and I'll have a ton of stories. I'm gonna go on Amazon and get some more ghost books. Oh dang, Drew, you didn't have to do that. You gave me a ghost story. That was your payment for this week. Thank you, Drew. I really appreciate that. All right. I'm going to say bye to everyone. NES, you're a dude. Okay, cool. Hello, dude. I look forward to this each week. Sorry I can't donate, but I love to be here. No problem, Kate. Thank you very much for being here. Everyone. Loic, what are you saying? You didn't do it again, did you? Loic, when you give that dollar symbol, I'm just assuming it's because you just donated, but maybe you're just giving the dollar symbol so I didn't miss Drew's donation. Is that where you're reminding me to, or letting me know to check on that? I'm going to see if I can find my favorite Montana ghost book on Amazon and send it off to you. Thanks, Neat Boss. Thank you very much. Nate, I'll be back next Wednesday. Thanks, NES. What did I walk in on? Garfield, this is the end of my ghost story stream. I just read a bunch of ghost stories. They're true ghost stories. I like to emphasize that. Stories that have happened to people. And I read them and I lose my mind because it's truly horrifying. Do you hear how loud that cricket is? Weird. Then I walk over and it stops. How does it know I'm coming over here? Stop cricketing. I stopped it. Did you hear that? I stopped the haunted cricket. Oh yeah, and I mentioned that right. So the last thing I'll say before I end this, please, everyone, right now, since I'm ending, if you can and you have a Twitch or if you want to get a Twitch, please go over to the Twitch right now and follow our Twitch. It's Beyond Worlds. The information is in the description of this stream. Beyond Worlds. Please go follow it. Let's see if Chris is in there right now. He ended it, but Chris was streaming for 2 hours. He was playing Unavowed. Don't know what Unavowed is. But we're going to be doing a 24-hour stream at the end of August. Me and Tom and Cheffit and maybe Charlene and Bob, and we're just going to go bonkers in the Twitch. I'm going to do a special ghost story stream. Dude, Brian. Thanks, Brian. $10 direct donation right then. Shut up. Zach and Mac and Jack, shut up, dude. That's huge. 50 freaking bucks. Wow. Thank you so much. And Brian, thank you for that $10. Holy freaking crap. That you already gave $5 earlier. That's $15 from Brian. Oh my gosh, you guys are insane. Zach, wow. Thank you so much. And Brian, you guys are awesome. Holy crap. Hey, you got a special Halloween ghost story for the podcast? I'm working on a pretty big ghost special podcast for Halloween. Halloween ghost special podcast. I don't know how to word that. I'll be streaming live from a cemetery, reading these ghost stories for the Halloween special. So get ready for that. That's gonna be awesome. Holy crap! This haunted cricket is back. Stop doing that, cricket. Shut that thing up. Can you guys hear the cricket through the mic? It's so loud. All right. Yeah, so I just wanted to say, please go follow the Twitch. It really helps us out because we're trying to get that thing, our Twitch partnered. And we need more followers so that when we do stream, we need to maintain 75 viewers for each stream for like a month. Once we do that, the streams are getting up there. When I was making the shower earlier, I made an outside shower earlier and I streamed it. And at one point I had like 52 people watching. The most people I've ever had in there was like 120. So it's pretty low. The numbers are pretty low in the Twitch. So if you can and want to, please just go follow it. You can subscribe if you want. That would be more than enough. But just following would be great because we just need to maintain a higher view count. And we're going to do a 24-hour stream in the Twitch doing everything. It's going to be tough. because we have to like stay awake for 24 hours or take shifts. I'm going to shave Tom's head like a madman. I'm going to shave random holes in his hair so he's going to look stringy and insane. We're going to do Beat Tom, which is actually Beat Bob now. We're going to only do the ghost streams. We're going to do the conspiracy show. This conspiracy show is finally coming back. It's called Who Knows. Some of you may have already watched the past 2 or 3 episodes that we did. And I have in that show, I'm going to show the footage from when I stayed on the Queen Mary, the haunted boat, the most haunted place on Earth, apparently. And I'm going to show the footage, and I'm going to editing these together into episodes. When I stayed last weekend in another haunted hotel, I've filmed the whole time. I'm going to edit those together, and I'm going to show those on the Conspiracy Podcast live show called Who Knows. So please, everyone, go follow Twitch. I'm really pushing it a lot, and I'm mentioning it a lot because we're really trying to crank up our numbers on there so we can become partners and make it a paying job, because we put a lot of effort into all these shows. Even this seems like kind of rinky-dink, and I'm not doing the cutting this week. I just have the 2 shots locked up on the screen, but I normally just doing this, setting this whole setup in the smoke machine is kind of a pain in the neck. So I try to put as much effort into these rinky-dink streams as I can, just to make it a little more fun. Hey Nathan, when were you at Miami Dolphins? Val, that was last November, I think, or October or something. I went 2 times, and it was like over like 2 different months towards the end of the year. I used to watch Twitch, but I have no idea what the password is as at this point. If I can figure it out, I'll follow for sure. Thanks, Wolfie. Oh my God, you the 4th time. I would love to hear you read bios at Palm Beach. I'm not sure what that means, Cake. Read the bios from SCP Containment Breach. Oh, you want to hear me read some tech jargon? Yes, we'll finally shave Tom's head. That's right, Pixels. Weren't you going to do that last time, but didn't get enough donations? Yeah, we made like $7, and Tom wouldn't let me shave his head unless we got like 100. Now he says, I'm not letting you do it unless we get $500 in donations. And that money, that whoever donates on Twitch, it all goes to Chris and pays for his equipment. So it really, really helps out if you guys do give a couple dollars. It slowly pays off all the equipment he bought to do all this live streaming stuff. So if we do make $500, that's a fat chunk back to Chris for paying for all this equipment. And then Tom will shave his head and be humiliated and look like a psychopath for the next week. So end of August, get ready, get in there, go follow the Twitch so you can see this 24-hour stream. I'll be advertising and promoting and talking about it so you guys don't miss it. But it's coming at the end of this month. I binge watched all of your Talking Classics in one night. Need more of it. Wow, thanks, Slash. Awesome, thanks, Kate. Thanks for being there. I'm glad you guys are liking this junk. Awesome. Thanks, Slash. Thanks for watching the streams. All right, cool. Thanks again. Thanks for all donations. It really, really helps. That's how I pay my rent. This truly from this stream. When I stream with you guys on every Wednesday, has been paying my rent. It's my only reoccurring guaranteed paycheck, because acting is tough and you don't get paid anything. I've done a couple of things in the past couple months that paid me pennies, and it was a lot of physical work, and 2 of them aren't even airing, and I'm even going to go on the internet, and one thing isn't going to be aired on television. I did a commercial for TurboTax, and it's not even airing on TV, so I won't get paid the residuals that you normally get when you are in a commercial. And then the music video I did isn't even going to go up. So it's like, I do all this stuff, people don't even get to see it, and I get paid nothing. So it's kind of, it's tough. Acting is a hard life, and I've known that for like over 13 years now. But thanks to you guys, I'm able to keep plugging away and pursuing my dream. So I appreciate you guys helping me live my dream. And hopefully it's worth it to you when you donate. So thanks again. All right, I'm going to stop rambling. Any update on WWE tryout? No, I don't think it's going to happen. I've kind of given up on it. I'm just going to move on. I'm trying to get my movie finished and focusing on things that I truly care about, like my lifelong dream of making movies. So Neutral, I'll end on this. Neutral is out soon on YouTube. Yes, like Loic said, Neutral, my short film, on August 31st. I can't say that. 31st. August 31st, Neutral will be on YouTube, so you guys can finally see my short film, and it's the first chapter in a 3-chapter series, which will make a feature film. So August 31st, get ready. Neutral's coming. Thank you to everyone who donated to that and made that happen. I couldn't have done it without you. I literally can't do anything without you guys. You guys are my life support. I love you all. Acting is a risky business. You don't know, and it sure is, and it's truly the most stressful and maddening thing I've ever done. I freak out constantly. I have anxiety attacks, panic attacks, break down, cry, sell everything, do crappy jobs, things just to make a couple of bucks, just to pay rent so I can stay out here and keep pursuing the only thing I know how to do and the thing I'm good at, which is sort of good at, is acting. It stinks. And I know this can sound obnoxious, like, oh, an actor complaining I'm pursuing my dreams. Sorry if it sounds annoying, but you guys are keeping me alive. Thanks again, Zach. That was a huge $50 donation. Thanks again for that last one. All right, cool. I'm going to end it. I'm out of here. I'm going to post a video about the new Spider-Man game coming out before it comes out, of course. Ha, ha, ha. Cool. Good luck with that, Cake. Thanks again for all the huge donations. King of the chat tonight was Cake. He donated so much. And obviously Chappie. Chappie gave $100 plus all his other ones. So thanks to Champin Chappie and Champin Cake. You guys are the best. Oh, I spelled cake wrong. I'm so sorry. I can't type on this thing. Never tried getting into voice acting. I do voice acting. I audition for cartoons a lot. So yes, and I was on a Fox cartoon for a while. A cartoon that was on Fox called High School USA. I've done some stuff for like Cartoon Network. Appin, thank you. Good night, Ethan. Sorry again for the book. No, don't apologize. I feel really bad about that. I don't want you to be apologizing because I am very, very, very happy you sent it to me. Affin, everyone, Affin Koenig who just donated, don't send me this book to the P.O. Box. So thank Affin for sending this. This is super generous, super nice thing of you to do. You're amazing. Thank you for doing it. I'm going to read through it, and I'm going to find ones that I think are pretty good to read because I don't want this. It's not a waste. I love this. I love that you sent this to me. It's cool, and I like that it has pictures too. The pictures are actually kind of freaky. And then, I mean, you never know what you're gonna get unless you've read it. So thank you again for donating. You didn't have to donate $5 for donating the book, and you did not have to donate $5 just now. You already gave me the book. You're super, super, super generous. Thank you. I think you said you and your wife sent this. So thanks to both of you guys so much. Wow, man, that was great. Yeah, Natchez, Mississippi, Wolfie. Do you live down there? This book's all about like the houses that are like haunted down there and stuff. But it's very informational. It's not like a story. So it's kind of like it's cool and it's awesome. And it's neat to find out all this stuff. But it doesn't read like a story, so it's a little different. It's not the same hearing it, as like hearing someone retell a story that happened to them. You're from Mississippi? Oh, cool. So you know where this place is? Apparently it's super haunted. Yeah, I'm from right on the river. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Oh, so you're from there too. Wolfie and Affin. You guys are like neighbors. No. When are you going to dress up as Big Bird on stream, Nathan? I don't think I'm going to, Garfield. But thank you for wanting me to. Thank you for being here and saying anything. Thank you for smashing your keyboard buttons in a sequence that made sentences. Thank you to everyone who says anything to me. Nice. I like it. I like the South. I think it's a cool place. It's very interesting, spooky, and kind of nice. I want to move to Georgia. I think about it all the time now. Be relaxing. It'd be nice to have like a porch and a house and not pay $1 million like LA's prices. Someday. That's something I try to do. If I sell this, we're working on a TV show right now, and if it becomes a hit, which I feel really good about, fingers crossed, I think it could become a big thing. Charlene and I want to talk about it. It's the thing I'm doing with Charlene and Seth and Paul. But we always feel like, oh, we shouldn't talk about the stuff we're doing for TV networks. But it's like so much of our effort and time and passion go into it. I mean, and if it doesn't go anywhere, it's like that was a waste. No one gets to know about it. It'd be nice, I guess, to get my money's worth out of it and at least talk about it on the internet. So, if this thing becomes something and I make some actual money for once, maybe I'll buy a house and I might go buy it in Atlanta. Just kind of gave me everything that's in my mind right now. I see you wearing a white suit sitting on a porch drinking lemonade. I don't know if I'd wear the white suit, but I probably wear this exact same outfit. This is what I wear all the time. And this is like my gravedigger clothes. Um, but I would definitely sit and drinking lemonade, that's for sure. Getting the heck out of here soon, I hope. So tired of SoCal, especially Chino. Nothing out here at all. Neat boss. Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. Like, it's weird. I've been here for 13 years. I like everything that LA has to offer me for like creative reasons and acting and like, other artists and people and like all the, Hollywood in general. Like, that's where you go to like make your dreams come true. But it would be nice to have a house somewhere else that's a little more quiet and not as dry. A place that has water and you don't have to feel guilty about running the water. Henrik, I'm glad you love Charlene. I will tell her. I know it's humid. I'm from Massachusetts, and it gets really humid up there too. I know, Brad. I know there's a lot of. I have some friends that have moved out there, and they just act out there. But for me, I couldn't go there right now because a lot of the things that happen in Atlanta aren't like starring roles. Usually, a show gets created and cast in LA, and the people who create the show are in LA, and then they go and film in Atlanta and cast the smaller roles in Atlanta, movies and TV shows. There's not many shows. If I moved to Atlanta, I'd be auditioning for smaller parts, is what I'm trying to say. I want to have my own show and have other people audition for it. So I will work on that here and then go to Atlanta if need be to film it. That's my goal. Humid in Canada too. You're welcome here, but Canada. I love Canada. I went to Calgary recently for my one of my film was the neutral was played up there and it was awesome. I loved Calgary, and then I went out to that huge hotel way out in Banff. It was rad. It was a lot of fun, but there's only so much I can take. I just always hang out around Little Tokyo. Little Tokyo's cool. I couldn't live in the Midwest. I need to be near an ocean. I need to be near one of the coasts. I feel like the coasts are more connected to the world. I just feel like landlocked. I don't think I could do that. I mean, I've been a lot of places in the country and I enjoy places for their own reasons, but if I was to live somewhere, I'd have to be on a coast. It's probably because I grew up on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, like on the ocean. I love the ocean, so I got to be near it. Yeah, Banff rules. Cold blood. All right, I'm going to actually end it now. This has been a long hangout chat, so thank you everyone who's stuck around and chatted with me. Evie, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, madam, I should say. That's why I'm thinking about Cali. I can't leave the sea. Yeah, I want to get back to Santa Monica. Santa Monica's nice, but very, very, very expensive. Thankfully, my property in Montana has a super pretty river and beach right on the edge of our... Oh, that's awesome, neat boss. I don't like Florida much. I'm from Sunderland, Mass. originally. Oh, really? That's cool, Byron. I do like Florida, but I don't know if I could live there because there's a lot of snakes. I'm afraid of snakes. Mademoiselle. Attack of the Pixels. What part are you living in? Good night. I enjoyed it. Thanks, Affin. All right, I'm going to actually end it. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the donations. I'll check on the donations, see if I can get a little sort of a grand total. This is going to be lower than it actually is because, yeah, see, it doesn't update. So far, it's saying I got 176 direct donations to me and then $74 in the super chat. It's more than that. It just doesn't update. So according to this, I've made $250, but I think I've made about 300 or a little more. So thanks again, everyone. With that $50 donation I just got, I'm definitely over $300. Thanks again, Zach. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Chappie. Cake. Oh, my God. Shut up. I was just about to end it. Gloria was brilliant. Tommy Wagner. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Tommy. Holy crap. $25. Thank you for... I'm glad you liked Gloria. That $25 I will take and I will put it back into the specific bank account, the section of my bank account that funded Gloria. Gloria cost me $8,000 to film that music video, the single take music video. And I made maybe... What the heck was that? Something just banged over in the corner of the room. I gotta end this. I'm freaking myself out. Gloria cost me $8,000 to make, and I made maybe $100 off of YouTube ads. So I didn't make my money back at all. But it helped me to get my movie made because I used that in the fundraising, showed Gloria. People go, oh, this looks cool. The movie will take place in that location with this car. Cool. I think it helped me to get people interested to give me money to make my movie. So it wasn't a waste of money. I mean, it wasn't a waste of money even if it was just for me for the video. I love making videos. I will spend all my money on making videos, but then I'm poor in the end and I don't make money back. So your $25, Tommy, goes back into Gloria. Thank you very much. Nope, YouTube is not paying out. Okay, I'll say bye as Keith, Sleepy Dragon. Hello, everybody. My name's Keith Abacary, and I'm just here to say adios. Thanks for looking at my face and enjoying the sound of my lips. Good night, everybody. There you go. That's Keith. He said goodbye to you. I'm not gonna sing Sega. I gotta end this. Good night, crickets. Yeah, the crickets are driving me crazy. There's a cricket like in this room or something. All right. Thanks again. Wow, Tommy, that was amazing. Thank you very much. All right, cool. Ending it for real. Going to a con this weekend, and I've actually worked on its growth. Good night, Nathan. Have fun at the con, Cake. Thanks again. Thanks, Brad. Follow, Hollow, Wolfie, everyone. Evie, thank you. Good night, everybody. Bye, Kate. Neat boss. I try to say bye to everyone. It's so hard for me to say goodbye. You guys are the best. Thanks for everything. See you, Phelan. All right. Bye-bye.